How many chairs are you sitting on right now? Are you all in on the chair? You put on one pair of glasses. You've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen.
All in on the screen? One screen, you trust it? Like,
you're using one microphone. That's the one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10
microphones? Driving one
Did
car
you
at the
drive
same
10
time?
cars at the same time or one car at the same time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street?
When you use knives,
Do you take
drive
a
a
different way?
way?
You get on one airplane?
Take a different way?
Are you convicted? You put your entire family in the one airplane? Aren't you afraid? When you use knives, do you have copper knives, wooden knives, steel knives, aluminum knives, rubber band knives, diamond knives, because you're afraid to commit to the right knife?
You know? So my point
My point really is, ultimately, if you're a rational individual, it's a tool.
the only night we'll see. Be afraid. I won't. No, I won't. Just as long as you stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, 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 oh. Stand by me. Just one time. No, switch it out one time. Hold on, hold on.
I gotta start.
Hey, this is the vibes we're on all. I'm on this vibe all week, chat. Look, it's almost Valentine's Day. We're tapping. Vibe all week, chat. Look, it's almost Valentine's Day, and so we're tapping into the roster, man. We're making shit shake. And this is the type of vibes I'm on all week. Stand by me. It's the vibes we're on all week, man. It's almost February 14th. It's a big week. It's a big day. It's big times coming up. You gotta lock in. Get your roster correct. Okay? It's like the GM national holiday. It's like the day before the NBA trade deadline. Okay? Because January 31st is your last day before the big leagues come, before February, okay? It's like the January 31st is like the trade deadline Okay? It's like the trade deadline in the dating scene. It's like if you aren't 2 weeks ahead of schedule, making arrangements, getting shit prepped, somebody else is. Okay? This is what you really have to understand. If you're not 2 weeks ahead of schedule, making preparations, getting your shit organized, getting your roster in check, making plans, making reservations, getting things ready to go. If you're not doing that, somebody else is. And when you roll around February 11th, 12th, 13th, she's already busy. She already has plans and they're not with you. Okay? I need you to understand that January 31st is your deadline. If you don't have something in mind, if you don't have something ready to go by January 31st, you're late. Okay? January 31st is the trade deadline. It's the Valentine's Day deadline. Okay? Get your shit right. Get your shit in order. And that maybe it requires getting a haircut, getting a shave, going to the store, and copping a new, fresh little sweater. Hold on one time with the sweater, chat. Hold on with the sweater. Peep, 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 peep. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Are you going out with a date that poisoned you? No, I don't think so. She's very sweet, though. Maybe. I don't really want to talk about it because she might be watching. It's the only problem. I'm like afraid to go that out of my way. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Y'all think I should go on a third date or no? What do y'all think? That's what I want. What do y'all think? Yes or no? You want to go on a third date or no? What do y'all think? Wow, a lot of yeses. Interesting. You didn't even say hi to us yet. Damn, I didn't even say hi to us. You're right. Vibla, what's good? Rockefeller, what's good? One Spicy Meatball, what's good? Wavy 80, what's good? Digi Money, what's good? Pudgy Ma, what's good? Kiro, what's good? Poca, what's good? Jonah, what's good? Rocky, what's good? Jackson Ray, what's good? Sparky, what's good? Kevin, what's good? Seth, what's good? Vibla, what's good? Jack, what's good? Mickley, what's good? Vibla, what's good? Vibla, what's good? Vibla, what's good? Whoa, welcome back to the stream, baby. Look, it's a great day. You're acting like a huge simp. Stop wasting much time and energy into a woman, bro. Bro, it's the year of the wife max. Okay, bring simping back. Honestly, bring simping back. Bring trying hard back. Bring showing up to her door with flowers and caring about some shit back. Like, what are you talking about? You're a simp. It's like, oh, should I go on a third date? But you're a simp. It's like, no wonder the population's in decline. No wonder the birth rate's down. No wonder people aren't getting married. No wonder people are single. It's like, no, bro. It's cuffing season, bro. It's cuffing. I'm in New York City. It's the roaring 20s. Bitcoin's at $90,000. Gold's at ATH. Okay, it's 2026. It's the glory year. I just turned 24. It's my Kobe year. It's like, no, bro. I'm simping this year. Bring that shit back, by the way. Bring that shit back. Bring simping back. Bring that energy. Bring that lover boy energy back, man. That's what I'm on all year. But look, all right, we have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot to get into today. I get my MRI show fit. I already showed it, bro. It's casual. It's business casual, but this business ain't casual. It's business casual, but this business ain't casual. All right. I get my MRI results back tomorrow, and I'm fucking scared, man. I've had doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor tell me that there's nothing wrong with it, but it does not feel great. So we'll see. I get my MRI results back tomorrow, and it's probably gonna hinder my Euro summer if I have bad news. Like, Euro summer is probably on hold for a year if I have bad news, which fucking sucks. Probably not doing spritz, aerial spritz off the south of France. If I have a torn shoulder, I'll probably be sitting here on stream with you guys. So it's good for y'all, bad for me. But if it's good for y'all, it's good for me too. So honestly, good for me. We have a lot to talk about today. FOMC was today. Michael Burry just posted the GME thesis part 2, which is, if you remember part 1, that shit was a movie. We did a whole stream about it. AI coins are hot. Bankers ripping. Claude's ripping. Vlad from Robinhood dropped a whole article talking about how 5-year post-mortem on GME
how it wouldn't have happened if it was on blockchain, which is crazy. Bitcoin's at 90K and looks pretty fucking not half too shabby. Gold just made a new ATH. Silver looks good. There's a lot happening. Crypto's active. Pump just had its biggest buyback day since September. A fellow by the name of... Let me pull it real quick. Let me just not mess it up. Let me not mess his name up. John Lick Daghita is under investigation for stealing like $40 million from his dad, who had a contract from the United States government. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to cover, and we are going to have a lot of fun in it. But if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube and you would like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. Also, Moonbirds launched their token, NFT tokens, like 400 mil, up only. Looks great. What happened to the Chris Camillo stream? He kind of ghosted me. I'm going to just be completely honest. He low-key ghosted me, but he's going to be back because we're a big deal and we're grinding and we're locked in and we're kind of hard to miss. So I promise you we'll get the Chris Camillo stream. Also, tomorrow is a stream with Creekcraft, the biggest Roblox YouTuber in the world. He gets 1 million views per video, and he's coming on the stream tomorrow, and it's going to be a fucking movie. So twitch.tv/threadguy. It's a very, very, very interesting time in crypto right now. Also, quick updates because you're all asking about my visuals. Yes, hair looks good. It's getting thicker. I'm putting this like sea salt spray in it. Changed my life. Also, yes, the beard I did do myself. And yes, I am feeling better. By the way, I was so down bad. But one of the things I realized was that I was like 72 hours removed from caffeine. I do 800 milligrams a day. I hadn't had caffeine in 72 hours, and so that probably is part of the reason that things were not going well. But I want to start with a cultural topic real quick before we get too deep in anything that I almost couldn't believe, which is the other day, Alex Honnold free soloed the Taipei 101, which I believe is the tallest building in the world. Maybe tallest building in the world, if I'm not mistaken. And it's not the tallest building in the world. What's one of? Wait, let's see. Did we not just fix this camera shit, by the way? Okay, there we go. I'll just stay on this the whole time. I got it. Chill. I got it. It's not the tallest building in the world. It had that title from 2004 to 2010. Well, look. This fucking freak went on and soloed, which if you haven't seen it before, it's one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my entire life. No equipment, no ropes, no harness, nothing. Just with his fucking hands and his feet climbed this Taipei 101 tower. And so we were speculating on how much did he get paid. My estimate was, I guess, 20 million, because I'm doing some math on what I think Jake Paul got paid to box Anthony Joshua, and then how many people do I think watched it. Like, I'm just like doing some mental math on like what do I think that it's worth. I said 10 mil on the bottom, absolute bare minimum lowest bound, and 20 to 25 mil at the top. And bro, you got paid $500,000. I mean, no disrespect, $500,000 is a lot of money, but are you kidding, brother? This brother needs an agent. He got paid $500,000 for this, bro. Jared Stidham to go play one of the worst NFL games I've ever seen, complete one good pass and lose in the AFC Championship after not playing a game in 3 years, getting paid $6 million a year, bro, to sit on the bench for the Denver Broncos and look like an absolute just scared of his own shadow self in the AFC Championship game, is getting paid $6 million a year. And you're telling me Alex Honnold got $500,000 to free solo Taipei 101. It's got to be one of the worst contract robberies I've ever... Dude, I was thinking about this, and I'm like, dude, there's a scenario in which we could have funded him. I feel like I could have funded Alex Honnold to climb on our Twitch stream. Dude, I feel like we could have funded him. And so he made some comment and he was like, you know, I would have done, his whole thing is like, I would have done it for free, which I respect. Love of the game. Genuinely impressive. He just likes to do this shit. Like, he's a freak. But dude, Finn Bags would have funded this dude in an hour. I mean, he raised how much money for Mr. Beast? Millions, I believe. Honestly insane. And so I saw this post. TBPN made this post, and they're like, well, he couldn't have negotiated that hard because then Netflix would have went out and got somebody else. How do you get somebody else to free solo Taipei 101? There's nobody else. You can't get somebody else to do this. This isn't how the world works. This isn't like a thing that you can like. Let me see if I can find the tweet actually. It was a ridiculous. I'm a big fan of TBPN. It was one of the worst tweets ever.
Admittedly, I think this.
Find it. Stand by me, darling, darling. Stand. That's one of the worst tweets ever. I'm like, you gotta be absolutely kidding me. No, I can't find it. Whatever. We'll move on. Yeah, here it is. This was a good take from them. Jake Paul got 90. By the way, Jake Paul got 90 million to fight Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul got 90 million for his boxing match. Alex Honnold got 500K to climb Taipei 101. But he could have 10x'd it by doing ad reads during it. It's live. Netflix can't censor it. Everyone's locked in. Right as he got to the sketchy part, quote, "This moment is brought to you by NordVPN." Incredible take. He should have done it. Dude, I would have paid for a counterparty ad read. Maybe like a decent amount. Check out the threadguy stream. Would have been fucking incredible. But yeah, it was awesome. It was this is the take right here. I think the difference is Alex Honnold does it for the love of the game and Jake Paul does it for money. Look, whether you like what you're doing or not, the price is the price. You feel me? It's like whether Matthew Stafford wants to go play quarterback or whether he doesn't want to go play quarterback, he's making 30 M's. He's getting paid $5 million a game. That's the price. If Alex Honnold negotiated too hard, Netflix might have gone with a different climber. Because Netflix had to do a lot of behind-the-scenes work here, setting up production with all the permits, actually negotiating with Taipei 101, the government, all the different pieces. The live event isn't a show you subscribe to Netflix for and then watch over the course of months. It's a one-off standalone piece of content. If there's no TV program and the building gave me permission to go do the thing, Alex told New York Times, I would do the thing because I know I can and it'd be amazing. But bro, gone with a different climber. It's like if Drake May doesn't want to play quarterback today, the Patriots are going to go with a different quarterback. It's like, no, you can't. There's no different quarterback. If LeBron doesn't want to hoop today, then we're going to go with a different small forward. It's like, no, there's no different small forward. It's like, no, it's LeBron. Like, you can't like Luka doesn't want to hoop. Okay, cool. We're going to start a different point guard. It's like, no, there's no different point guard. It's not how the world works. Unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that. So that is what it is. And interesting cultural moment. And I'm going to read you all an optimistic tweet. And then we're going to start talking about crypto a little bit today. Optimistic tweet. Just to start the day off. If you're aware that the term, quote, permanent underclass even exists, then it's clear you'll never be a part of it. No shot. On this app all day, exposing yourself to every opinion about what the future might look like. You've gotten to the point where you've essentially become an expert in predicting exactly how you might be cooked. With that level of critical thinking, there's just no reality where you'll ever allow it to happen to you. Even seeing this on your feed is already proof of that. Seriously though, you have to give yourself some more credit. You're not some useless sack of flesh you're not some useless sack of flesh and you never were. The fact that this stuff is even on your mind means you care enough about your life to never give up. Keep moving forward and trust in your ability to adapt whatever life throws at you. No need to overly fear because you'll always be able to figure it out. Impossible not to figure it out being surrounded by so many bright minds. Believe it or you're not one of them. Okay. Optimistic. It's actually not true. Just because you know the permanent underclass exists definitely does not mean that you're never going to be part of it. However, also I'm closing this Telegram chat. I don't want to read these messages. You are pinging me. You're supposed to ping me in the Telegram chat if it's like important. Otherwise, I can't focus. You're pinging me with non-important stuff, and then it's like, what am I supposed to do? It's no good. Okay, tweet is not true. Unfortunately, I wish it was. that just because you're aware that the term permanent underclass exists means you have to be part of it. That's not true. However, today in particular, I found myself getting optimistic. And I found myself believing now more than ever. I think this has been true over the last couple of years, but really now more than ever, and especially all the posting and the optimism and just the excitement and like, I guess, pure bliss around AI that I haven't felt on my Twitter timeline maybe since crypto a couple years ago. I felt optimistic that we genuinely right now, I think, are living in the coolest technological revolution that's maybe ever happened on the internet. And it is by far right now, right here in 2026, like the best time to be conscious, to be aware, to be locked in, and to have the knowledge and the skill set to even be on Twitter and be participating in these things. It really is. Everywhere you look, the barbell is AI and crypto. It's the two most important technological advancements that will ever happen in our lifetime, I think, or at least over the next 20, 30 years. And it's a little bit stressful. Okay, I can't be the only person that feels a little bit stressed out with the rapid advancement of how fast the AI stuff is moving. I can't be the only person that feels a little bit stressed out. Okay, is that a fair take to say? It's a little bit stressful. I'm about to get a new computer today that I'm just going to use for Claude Code. I'm kind of hyped. It's a little bit stressful. Okay. But at the same time, there's pure just bliss and excitement, and it's almost a layer removed from the financial aspect, right? Like, you just see pure excitement from all of these like influencers and these developers and all these people posting this stuff on Twitter. And most of them are not the next day trying to figure out how to monetize it. Like, it feels like there's just like excitement for the tech. And dude, it's been a while since something has been like this. Like, I don't know. This was the case for crypto, I guess, in like 2021, 2022. I feel like when NFTs first came out, before people were getting rich off of them and Bored Apes for $500,000 a piece, it was like, oh my God, this is formative technology that's going to shape the internet. And it's going to shape our life. It's going to shape culture. It's going to be a big part of culture. Yeah. I remember when I realized for the first time that, whoa, NFTs are going to be, or like, I remember when it clicked for me the first time in my life that, whoa, crypto is going to actually be like important. This is going to like matter for the world. This is going to be cool technology. This is going to matter for the world. And I'm a part of this, which is pretty lit. And I'm a part of this when most people are not. I'm a part of this little movement, this like counterculture, this like pseudo renaissance, whatever you want to call it. And most people are not. And that's maybe the most exciting part, right? It's like the thing Karl Marx failed to consider as having more than others is awesome. And so we're sort of at that chasm right now with the AI, I feel like, where it's like so early, people are moving so fast, they don't even fully know what's happening. But if we went out on the street right now, like, let me ask you a question. If I walked down the street of New York City right now, and I asked 20 different people, have you ever used Claude Code before? How many of them do you think would say yes? I would think one, maybe two, max. Even that would be low. If I called all my hometown friends right now, I'm not talking about Claude, I'm talking about Claude Code. I'm talking about has the terminal on your Mac or on download Windows terminal and is out here coding shit. Has made, you know, I feel like zero to one have used Claude Code. Have they heard of it? High. Have they used Claude, the LLM? Reasonably high. Have they actually gone on there and coded something? I would say it's close to zero, man. And that's why crypto Twitter to me continues to be the most valuable niche in the world. Is they've heard of ChatGPT. They probably use ChatGPT, by the way. I would say, okay, let me do some math. If I walk down the street right now, let's use 100 for easy numbers. Easy numbers. If I walk down the street right now in New York City and I asked 100 random people, all shapes, sizes, ages, demographics, sizes, and I said, have you ever used ChatGPT? Ever? Have you ever sent it a message? I would think 55 out of 100 would say yes. Maybe more. 55 out of 100 would say yes. 100%. 55 out of 100 would say yes. If I asked them, have you used Claude? I would think 15 would say yes. If I asked them, have you used Claude Code? I would say 5. 5. I think 5 would say yes. And so that puts you at a unique opportunity, by the way. Think about it. That lets you sit in a really interesting, if that's really true, if you really believe that, if you really believe that to be true, well, let me just ask the chat. There's 125 people on Twitch. Have you used Claude Code before? Yes or no? Like, do you have Claude Code like terminal installed on your computer? Yes or no? Yeah, see, there's a lot even in here that don't. That's crazy. What do you mean doesn't apply to us? How does it not apply to you? Of course it fucking applies to you. Yeah, see, it's even high in here. So it's definitely like 5%. That lets you sit in an interesting spot. That lets you sit in a very interesting spot where I feel like we could mutually, consensusly come to an agreement and be like, yeah, this is probably gonna be pretty big. It's like all the smart people. What is there like a Chris Dixon quote? Let's read the quote. Chris Dixon, what people are doing on the weekend. This is a good quote. This is it right here. This is good. Chris Dixon, A16Z. Also, mutual follower of the stream. Mutual follower of the stream. What the smartest people do on the weekend is what everyone else will do during the week in 10 years. That's a sick quote. That's a sick quote. And I feel like the smartest people I know right now, what they're doing on the weekend is fucking talking about Claude Code, bro. I do, and I almost didn't want it to be true for so long. Maybe I represent people in this feeling as well. I almost didn't want it to be true for so long. Because I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm sick of hearing about this vibe code. You know, Razma had a good tweet on this, and he's like, every day some new Claude vibe coding tech comes out, and people coin it as revolutionary that I thought it could already do. It's a pretty good take, because I'm like, yeah, low-key me too, right? He's like, I'm just thinking about Claude in the Mac Minis. I'm like, damn, I thought I could already do that. Like, I thought I could already do that. So it's like a little annoying. I can't be the only one that like sees this every day and is like, bro, like we get it. But when you look at it from this POV and you think about this, what the smartest people do on the weekend is what everyone else will do during the week in 10 years. You kind of got to think to yourself like, yeah, okay, makes sense. It's probably, this take is probably correct. And it's probably going to be something to do with like AI, even if you're so sick of hearing the word, because I'm relatively sick of hearing the word. So I can't be the only one, but it's just like probably correct. And so you have almost a moral, ethical, whatever type of responsibility to do it to yourself or to use it yourself. And so hopefully relatively soon here, we can run back a vibe code little stream, maybe make a Roblox game, because we do have the biggest Roblox YouTuber in the world coming on stream tomorrow. All right, let's talk about crypto. First news. Wait, Viblet, let me read this first. Viblet says, I'm not that active in chat, so I'm in cursor fucking around and learn while listening to the stream every day. It's actually crazy. You guys listen to stream every day. It's so awesome. I love that. It makes me so hyped to come up and talk about stream every day. All right. It's crazy every day. Good announcement after good announcement after good announcement. Market doesn't move that much, but things are lining up. Okay, something I want to talk about. Justin, Fidelity, which manages like what, $6 trillion? Is that Fidelity more? Fidelity announced the launch of a USD stablecoin, FID, F-I-D-D, built on Ethereum and issued by Fidelity Digital Assets. Reserves, cash equivalents, and short-term U.S. treasuries. Genius Act compliant with daily disclosures and third-party audits. Okay, this brings me to a topic which I have not really heard anyone discuss, and that is ticker physiognomy. Ticker physiognomy. Okay, and we did name physiognomy the other day, and I was watching it. I'm big into Nirvana right now, and so I was watching a documentary the other day, and it's like, yeah, Kurt Cobain, like, makes sense. That guy was a famous singer for a famous band. Ticker FID is one of the worst tickers I've ever seen in my time trading markets. And it sort of brings up the topic, and you got to think about it for a second, that the physiognomy and the name of your ticker, I actually think matters. I genuinely think this matters. And this is something that should be considered well more than it is. Okay? And if we look at TradingView, what are the hottest 2 tokens right now? The hottest 2 tokens right now. Ticker Hype, which objectively is 10 out of 10 physiognomy. Ticker Hype, the most hyped technology in finance right now, is obviously one of the greatest possible tickers you could have given it. And then Ticker Pump. It's in the name. Pump. It's like, yeah, what did the pump token do? Oh, it went up. It's like, oh yeah, you think? You fucking think it went up? Pump. Ticker Pump. Pump Fun. It's one of the great names. Names absolutely matter. And when you look at it on the other side and you see this chain named Barachain, ticker Bara, of course it's the worst performing token that we've seen in like many years. Like, bro, of course. Bear, ticker Bara, you bid ticker Bara. It's called Barachain. It's called Barachain, and people are and you're confused. People are short. It's like, though it is probably. By the way, I like Smokey the Bear. It's probably the singular worst name that has ever been concepted. Oh wait, ticker Bear went down. Yeah, you fucking think? Great physiognomy, bad performance is lit. Great ticker. Okay, here's a bad one for you. Chain named Avalanche. It's like, oh wait, you're telling me it tumbled down really hard, really aggressively, and has not stopped, and it's destroyed everything in its path? Who could have expected that? Who could have predicted that ticker Avalanche was down only and destructive and destroyed things in its path? Like, what? Bro, it matters. It matters. Doge, great. I think ARB is great. ARB is really good. ARB, like the ARB in between. ARB is really good. Ticker Hood is great. Incredible. Make it out the hood. I like that. Make it out the hood. Hood is really good. Hood is really good. DoorDash, ticker Dash, great. Incredible ticker. Meta, so good. I would argue one of the greatest rebrands ever. What's the Meta? It's like, I know it was after Metaverse, but they got bailed out. They got bailed out really hard, by the way. What's the Meta? So good. One of the singular greatest tickers that there are. Fig is bad, dude. Fig is bad. It's like Fig Newton. Fig Bar is bad. Really bad. Ticker Coin is great. One of the better. Shame it looks not very good. Coin is really good. Coin is really good. Open is really good as well. Open Door Technologies. Open is really good. Like Wells Fargo WFC, it's like it's just not meant. So these things are not meant to go up. Ticker Pengu is awesome. Awesome. Really good. Also, Jupe is great, I think. I think Jupe is great. Jupe is really good. Arrow is really good, even though I'm like so uninterested in Arrow. Arrow is really good. You have to say Arrow is really good. Like Aerodrome, like Arrow, Airspace, really good. But I don't know, man. You can't help but see this and think, who wants to own this asset? You just like, don't want to see it in your wallet. Still don't understand why Apple has two A's. Also, Nike is NKE. Why? Why is Nike NKE? Whose decision was that? Why would it be NKE? It's bizarre, right? It's completely bizarre. Also, quick other topic I want to talk about real quick that I didn't write down. Let me see if I can find it. Kathy Wood went on. Let me see if I can find it. Let's watch this real quick. Kathy Wood went on, what is this? Fox Business. And basically said that Binance is solely responsible. By the way, CZ has been catching uppercut after uppercut after uppercut recently. And it doesn't help that Hyperliquid is in the midst of an absolute Jenny run, which we're going to talk about very shortly here. But Kathy Wood went on Fox Business the other day and basically blamed. I haven't watched it. I just saw the. It's just I do this thing now. By the way, I don't watch content anymore. I like save it for stream, so I don't even know what's gonna play often. Let's watch it real quick. I can't hear. Oh, is it muted?
We are in it to win it, absolutely. So ARKB, right? We are in it to win it, absolutely. So ARKB, right, is our spot Bitcoin ETF. As we assess the
I think we can get her on the stream, by the way. Kathy Wood, it'd be a fun one.
ecosystem right now, what we've undergone in the last 2 to 3 months are the reverberations after 10/10. So 10/10, October 10th, was what...
Also, if you remember and think back, completely different sentiment. Tom Lee came out and said it was a glitch. It was like a blockchain glitch was the reason that 10/10 happened. And
in the crypto world, I'm not sure if it's mentioned this more broadly, is the flash crash associated with a software glitch on Binance that deleveraged the system and to the tune of $28 billion. There are a lot of people hurt. And we think that unwind, and often when you go through an unwind, Bitcoin's going to be hit the hardest because it's the most liquid crypto asset. We think that unwind is pretty much behind us. So now the only thing I think investors are worried about, especially institutional investors who understand that they must examine this as a new asset class, the leader in a new asset class, very low correlation with other asset classes. And so they're looking at what's called the 4-year cycle. And we have been down. And the question is the 4-year cycle, the downside of it, over?
Right.
We think it's pretty much pushed through. Maybe we flatten out here in the 80 to 90,000 range, base here for a while, but we think we'll be on our way.
okay, couple things. One, Kathy Wood has been calling for 500K Bitcoin for like 10. For as long as I've known what crypto is, Kathy Wood's been calling for 500K Bitcoin. And so we kind of like take, you know what's funny? Like I'm always interested in who the boomers think is really smart versus like who the CT people think is really smart, because often there's a separation where the crypto natives think the boomers are just like really retarded. And so Kathy Wood has been calling for 500K Bitcoin for as long as I've known what crypto is. And so we kind of like put her over here and I'm like, yeah, Kathy, keep bull posting our crypto bags. Now, it is interesting to see her go on fucking Fox Business and reference 10/10 as the reason we are where we are. Quick lore, as everyone continues to blame Binance and CZ for 10/10. No one really knows what happened still to this day. Everyone was like waiting for dead bodies to float up. We still don't really know what happened. If we just rip to ATH, I don't think anyone's ever going to care what happened. If we continue to stay underwater, then, maybe, people will do more digging and eventually have some takes on what happened. Quick lore, CZ was on my stream on 10/10. Did people know this? I don't know if you're not a super OG to our stream, you weren't here when that happened. He was on my stream on 1010. Like on that day. Like an hour before. I don't think we've ever really, have we ever really broken this down? And we never really digested that. He was on my stream that day. I was interviewing him that day. And it's so fucked because it was like my biggest stream ever. Dude, I guess it was my second biggest stream ever. But it was a Friday. It was October 10th. It was a Friday. And we were live on Twitch. And we were live on... Shall I tell the story real quick? We're live on Twitch. And we're live on Binance Square. I think to like 10,000 concurrent. And the reason I got CZ on the stream was, if you remember in October, BNB season was really hot until 4, and like Binance Life and all these tokens were like ripping to hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of 2 weeks. And so he goes on, and Aster is really hot too. He goes on some Twitter, he goes on Chillin' Villain Twitter space, and I'm like, all right, we gotta get CZ on the stream. Like, what am we? I'm usually scared to tweet at people. I'm like, we have to just do it. And so I tweeted CZ, and I'm like, day 1 of tweeting at CZ Binance until he comes on the stream. And I go to bed, and Malcolm wakes me up, and he's like, threadguy. He's banging on my door, threadguy. I open the door. I'm like, what, dude? It's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, open your Twitter. My Twitter's like, brrr. He replied, and he's like, cool, I'm down. He's like, I thought I was gonna have to tweet for like 30 days, day 1. He's like, cool, when? And so he scheduled the stream for 10:10. It was his suggestion. Maybe that's not true, by the way. I don't know. I think I proposed Friday. I proposed Friday because I wanted to do it that week. I proposed Friday, and he comes on the stream at 10:10. And so we do the stream, and it was like the biggest stream I've ever done. I was like so hype. Probably second biggest behind Elon. And it was huge. It was like 5K live. It was like it was a fucking big stream. I felt lit. My homies from home were texting me. My dad was watching. Like, it was just like, it felt like it was a big deal. It was right after Peter's shift. We were on a tear on the guests, and which we should maybe get back into some more guests. But I've been having a lot of fun not doing interviews, doing solo. And he gets off the stream, and we did it really early. He was in a weird time zone. We had to do it really early. I did it at 7 a.m. I hadn't slept. We do the interview, and we fucking crush it. And mind you, if you think back, also I didn't get a water. That was kind of dumb. If you think back, it was when we were having all of these like stream crashing issues. The stream was crashing every day. And so it was our first stream with new tech. And I was just like praying it was going to work. I was praying, please work. And so it worked. It worked. So the first day with new tech, it was Luke's worst day of his life. The first day with new tech, it was the CZ stream, and it worked perfectly. No crashes. And so we get off the stream, and we close the thing, and I just like remember laying down on my floor and being like, we fucking did it. Like, we fucking did it. We have motion. Like, we're fucking lit. We got motion. Like, everybody was, the company was happy. The team was happy. The sponsors were happy. It was just like, bro, we're fucking lit. Let's go celebrate. And so mind you, I still had my pump fund position open. And so I'm like, let's go celebrate. And so we were still in LA at the time. And there was a restaurant like a mile walk. And there was a bunch of people at our house that day. Everybody was at the house. It was sunny. It was a nice day in LA. It was like 1 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Let's go get lunch. And so we booked like this sick reservation at this Italian spot. We get the whole squad. We're like 10, 12, 13 deep. And we're all just like strolling down like super nice street in LA. Like, we're like strolling down Rodeo, bro. Strolling down Rodeo. I got a fit on. I got these jorts on and a long sleeve. I got chains on. I have earrings in. I'm feeling like the fucking GOAT. And mind you, my biggest position open is pump fund. I have hella money in pump fund. I have hella money in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like 100K. We're walking down Rodeo. I'm strutting. Malcolm's strutting. We're just like, it was peak, bro. It was peak. And we sit down at this restaurant at like 1 p.m. And I'm like, fuck it. Let me get a double pasta. Let me get bread. Let me get carbs for days. And then let me get, Luke was there. Luke was with us. Luke was in person. And I ordered a glass of wine. Which I'm not really a drinker. I don't really do glasses of wine. I order a glass of wine and we sit down. I got my feet up, eating like a $200 plate of pasta, sipping a Pinot Grigio at this night, like a bougie Pinot Grigio with like a little like olive on top. And I get like a ping and I look at my phone. And so we just got appetizers, bro. I'm eating burrata. I'm eating caprese salad. I got bread with the olive oil and the vinegar. I'm sipping wine. It's 1 p.m. We're crude. No, there is nothing in the world that could kill my vibe except for Pump Fun dipping 80% in 15 minutes. And so I get a noti on my phone and they're like, it's like the market. I'm like, what? And I open it. It's like Bitcoin is like down like 10% in like 5 minutes. Like, huh? I open my alts tab on TradingView and it's like everything's just like blood. Like mine's like 15%. I'm like, it's crypto. It's a Friday. Like stocks are, it's 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Stocks just close. Low volume. Like scam pumps happen all the time. Everything's on like 15%. So I'm sipping my wine. I look again, everything's on 20%. I'm like, fuck. Just show Malcolm. I'm like, Malcolm, this is bad. He's like, nah, sip your wine, TG. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We're cool. We just got CZ on stream. And so I'm sipping my wine. I'm not minding anything. And then the burrata comes. I take a bite. I look again, minus 30%. I'm like, what the fuck? So I open Twitter and I scroll. And everyone's like, the thing about Twitter and all of its value is Twitter is the least valuable platform in the world when things are euphoric or things are panic dumping. Nobody has a clue, and the people that have a clue are not posting. So I open Twitter, and everyone's just like, question mark, da 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 da. Like no one has any takes. And I'm like, fuck. So I take another bite of my burrata, sip, I take a gulp of my wine. I look again, and it's like Pump Fund minus 50%. I'm like, fuck. Okay. I'm like, fuck my life. And so I'm like, dude, what is this? And everyone starts like kind of looking around now. Because everyone at the table like owns a lot of crypto. It's like crypto people. Everyone starts looking around. I'm like, what the fuck? And so my meal comes. I start fucking like biting it. I look again, minus 60%. And so I start doing math in my head on my pump position. I'm like, dude, it's on 60% in 15 fucking minutes. What the fuck? And so I'm like, all of a sudden I start eating like stuffing. I start stuffing. I'm like, check. They come over and I'm like, guys, let's go. We get the check, 10% tip, and we don't do dessert, nothing. And we start walking back. I look again, Pump Fund minus 70. So we're like walking back like normal. I open my phone on TradingView. It's like Pump Fund minus 70%. And then we just start fucking like running, bro. We start running and everybody just like runs back. Like everyone just starts like running, bro. Running back after a pasta dinner. By the time we get back to the house, it's like everything minus 80%. Pump Fund minus 80. Height wick down to like $18. Bitcoin down 20%. Everything down 25, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85. Some things are down 90%. There's a couple tokens on Hyperliquid that wick to like a penny. And you open Twitter and for hour after hour, everyone just like question mark. Like nobody has a take like for hours. And yeah, like probably one of the best days of my life genuinely turned into one of the worst days of my life. And yeah, that's what happened. And we still don't really know what happened to this day, but CC's taking a lot of heat for it. But he came on the stream on 1010. So maybe one day we'll get to the CZ part 2 stream and we'll see what happens. But the quote tweet's interesting because it's a quote tweet from Star, who runs OKX. I guess I should follow. And what do you mean no? Oh, for the sake of the market number CC stream. He tweets, people have underestimated the impact of 1010. The incident caused real and lasting damage to the industry. An industry-leading company should focus on strengthening core infra, building trust with global users and regulators, and protecting the long-term interests of the majority of crypto users, setting an example for others to follow. Instead, some chose to pursue short-term gains, repeatedly launching Ponzi-like schemes, amplifying a handful of get-rich-quick narratives, and directly or indirectly manipulating the price of low-quality tokens, drawing millions of users into asset classes closely tied to them. This has become the shortcut for attracting traffic and user attention. Legitimate criticism is then drawn out. Not through facts or accountability, but via aggressive narrative control and coordinated influencer campaigns. This approach does not build an industry. It erodes trust, and ultimately everyone pays the price. This was skipped over as I scrolled on my daily timeline as to what we should talk about today. But the founder of OKX just came out and took a nuclear, hard scope snipe at Binance. This is a crazy tweet from OKX. Like a hard scope shot at CZ and Binance. And one of the things that's interesting about this to me is that being on CT, there's a hierarchy of cabals, right? And there's what actually happened, what the biggest players think happened, what the biggest players talk about on Twitter publicly, and then down. And so we always get, you would imagine, a watered down version of what actually happened on Twitter. And I feel like you very rarely see industry titans take shots at it. We will listen to the Cafe Wood clip, by the way. Industry titans take shots at industry titans. It does not happen very much. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like something we should follow. First, Kathy Wood, another CEO of OKX, coming after Binance. Kathy Wood blamed the 1010 crash on the Binance bug. And then I always thought OKX was an ally of Binance, notably due to the attack against Hyperliquid with Jelly perp listing on both sexes at the same time. This is why Star's quote post is so revealing. An industry-leading company should focus on protecting the long-term interests of crypto users. Binance FUD moved some random KOLs on X to industry leaders. I don't really know what this means for us on the retail trader side. I would argue probably not much. But CZ used to work at OKX. This is true. And there is seemingly some coordinated anger and criticism coming after Binance pretty hard from all angles. And so it's worth, at the very least, it's worth following what happens there. And so we'll continue to update if there's any more updates on that side of the story. Is my understanding Clarity Act would fix this? No. Clarity Act would not. Clarity would Act fix an exchange doing weird stuff? No. No. 0% would the Clarity Act fix that, my friends. But I believe they're voting on it tomorrow. And so maybe we'll have a chance to do a longer Clarity Act segment if that is passed. But, okay, moving on-chain stuff. Rapid fire. One, Tyke, a resident ETH bear, came out to say feeling optimistic about crypto for the first time in a long time. Maybe the beginning of a vibe shift. Love to see it. Two is, I don't have much of a segment on this, but I want to just note and put an earmark in some things I think are interesting, which is Ethereum Foundation coming out and seemingly stealing ETH is quantum resistant narrative is fucking lit. That is cool. And something that worth noting. Interesting approach. Worth noting. And you fucking love to see it. So David Hoffman from Bankless, who's been on the stream, friend of the stream, has come on and said max pain for ETH holders is Zeke to win the quantum resistant narrative. But let's talk about what's actually happening right now in crypto that we should actually be excited about right now. And it is the two tokens that we have been discussing relatively frequently from our thesis of companies that are buying back a shit ton of tokens and ideology coins. And the things basically always rely to Zcash, Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, Pump Fund. I feel like those are the four tickers. Is that true? The four tickers we talk about the most in the stream, I think, are those four, I would imagine. Hype, Pump Fund, Zcash, and Bitcoin. We talk about more than anything on the stream. We talk about them all day, every day. And we're going to continue to talk about them all day, every day, because Hyperliquid put in one of the most impressive 2-day stretches I think I've seen from a crypto asset in a while. And this is the weekly chart. It doesn't look that insane. The daily looks gross, but if we go down a little bit, let me delete some of these lines for you to make it clear. To the hourly here. Pretty disgusting what Hyperliquid did. This is on the hourly. Just insane. I mean, just fucking insane here. Leg up after 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 leg up. And basically 2 days. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the last week, Hyperliquid off the bottom lows, which was $20.50, has pumped at the top wick 70%. Whoa. 70%. The type of move that makes you believe in crypto again. The type of move that makes you log back on and look at what's happening. The type of move that can really change the vibes fast amongst crypto participants. That's the type of move, chat, that can really fucking get the juices flowing and get you to book an Aruba vacation for Valentine's Day for someone you don't even know. That's the type of price action that gets you to book a Maldives trip for someone you've never even met on February 14th, 2026. That is the type of move, my friends, that we need a little bit more of to really turn the vibes around in this place. And before we talk about Hyperliquid extensively and Pump Fund, which we can't really talk about one without the other, I don't really know how it's sort of programmed in my brain. Sentiment check, vibe check. Who in this chat holds Pump token? Yes or no? 142 on Twitch. Who holds Pump? On Spot, Perps, anything. And so we can talk about it extensively. Give me I need to fill up this water. Give me 30 seconds. Too much coffee. Hold on. Hold on. Let me fill up this water. I don't exactly know what kickstarted this move. I don't exactly know what kickstarted this move for Hype. Is that a vase? No, it's a cup. It's a cup. I don't exactly know what kickstarted this move for Hype. It got a little bit of an assistance from Bitcoin, kind of cooperating, but not fully. It got a little bit of an assist from Centrini, but the metrics are disgusting. Okay. And something I was shocked by, because I use Hyperliquid a lot. I trade all my perps on Hyperliquid. I fly to Mexico before, and I trade on Hyperliquid. But I want to read this a couple stats. Is the immersion of HIP3 is I mean, it's insane what the stats this thing is doing. The silver USDC pair on Hyperliquid that I think is like how old is it? A couple weeks old? Week old? I don't know how old is metals on Hyperliquid? It's not that old at all. This silver pair has done $1.1 billion of volume in the last 24 hours. $1 billion in the last 24 hours on Hyperliquid. Okay. Gold on Hyperliquid has done 200 million in the last 24 hours. That's 200 mil open interest. For context, silver's done $1 billion in volume in the last 24 hours. I think it's like a week old. The most Bitcoin USDC on Hyperliquid has done 3 billion. That's crazy. Think about that. It's doing a third of the volume of Bitcoin on Hyperliquid. That is, I mean, that's adoption is what that is. That's like people are fucking using this thing and it isn't just like a gimmick. Like what alt has the most volume? Like what does Fartcoin have? Silver's done $1 billion in 24 hours. Fartcoin 24-hour vol is 30 mil. 30 mil, bro. ETH it's done 2 bill. So it's either doing 2x the volume. Pretty fucking impressive, man. How much volume this thing is doing. What's like another what are the alt? How about Zcash? Let's see. Zeke 24-hour volume 46 mil. The Monero pair kind of sucks in here, right? 11 mil 24-hour volume. What else? How about lighter on Hyperliquid? 32 million in volume. It's pretty insane how much it's done. And so let's look at the DeFi Llama stats on this. How close do you think? Are you still in your Tesla position? No, brother. What? The big 2.6? Tesla, the big 2.6? Had a content position still open? Yes. 7 day. Let's go 7 day. 7 day revenue. Hype's on 14 million. 7 day. 1 day, it's on 2. It's pretty crazy how wild this has gone. And look, I'm not saying that any of this at all can be attributed to Mr. Ryan Watkins, but I am saying that Ryan Watkins posted this article, which was like the ultimate hype bull post on January 22nd, which if we look back on the chart is this day right here. Look at this right here. Ryan Watkins posts this article January 22nd. From the time of posting in a week, hype rips 60% and some change. And if you were look back at what this was, let's see. Let's see. Where's the Hyperliquid section? I need to find my annotated version. Where's the Hyperliquid section of this? Maybe it's not as much as I thought, huh? If I wanted to DM you or your team, what's the best way to do it? We put like a application email on there. I guess this is the only Hyperliquid relative one. Huh, I thought this was more Hyperliquid than it is. Am I giving him too much credit? Maybe I am giving him too much credit, huh? Am I wrong about this? I kind of remember this being like a Hyperliquid exclusive bull post. Let me see if I can find the annotated version. Interesting. Well, regardless, he basically posts, like, regardless of it directly mentioning Hyperliquid, the theme of this article was that crypto adoption is happening under the hood, and the things that are underpriced and are going to win, i.e. hype, are so ridiculously underpriced that you could probably just consolidate in those, do nothing else, and you will be completely fine. And there are huge hype bulls at Syncrecy. And man, honestly, I'm impressed. I think a couple things. One, I'm relatively disappointed that I don't hold any hype. I don't hold any hype, which is kind of disappointing because there's like this running theme, right, that for people talk about in finance, like finance for dummies. And when you like a product, like if you buy iPhones every year, you should probably take the amount of money you put into an iPhone every year and like buy Apple stock, right? Because like it'll probably go up at some point. And I use Hyperliquid I use it every day. I use it every day to trade, and I don't hold any. But a while back, we marked some levels. And I basically said that I wanted to buy this a lot higher or a lot lower, and everything in between is like not that interesting to me. And so these are the levels that we marked out. Were this previous ATH break, like 35 and some change, which it isn't there yet. And then 17, which is like an initial rejection from like way back in March 2025. And if we got here, or if we broke here convincingly, I'm kind of a slam. And I think that sort of remains true for me. Is I'm just like down to buy things higher with crypto, especially if they start performing well. Because one of the things about crypto that I feel like I've become more of a trader, have like really felt, is that most day in, day out is just boring. It's just boring. It's a lot of holding and just like where stocks are ranging and legging up and legging up and legging up and legging up. Crypto's just doing nothing for months on months on months. Crypto's doing nothing for months at a time until eventually it stops doing nothing and it starts really doing something. And in like 60 days or less, in a couple weeks, it can erase months upon months upon months of just consolidation, doing absolutely nothing. And we've maybe entered that territory with hype, but we got a mythical bull post from Jeff as well the other day, which is, who doesn't tweet much, doesn't follow me. Maybe we can get him on the stream someday. He tweets like once a month. Tweeted, Hyperliquid has quietly achieved an important milestone of becoming the most liquid venue for crypto price discovery in the world. See below for side-by-side comparison of BTC perps on Binance left and Hyperliquid right. So look, top of the book liquidity, it's like not even close. 81 BTC, 140. 3 BTC at the lowest bid, or the highest bid. 5 here. It's just like way deeper. With HIP3 teams leading the way, Hyperliquid has also grown to become the most liquid venue for perps on TradFi assets. Thank you to everyone's hard work as we upgrade the financial system and house of all finance. Now, one other like small little nuance that got lost in this is, it's pretty funny. Watch this. I actually forgot about this, but I just thought of it as I read this. Let's see. Trove. Let me see if I can find it. The Trove team was the forced seller to make the hype. Fuck, can I find it? Can I find it? Here. Watch this. January 18th. Trove, which had raised 500k hype to utilize HIP3 and then launch their perps on Hyperliquid, basically force sold all of it on January 18th. Resumed on January 19th. This is Trove. This price action right here was the Trove team selling hype. Just like rage selling hype right here was Trove. It's honestly poetic. You can't make this up. Who, by the way, we've heard nothing from since they walked away with $10 million. They sold like 10 plus million and some change of Hyperliquid and walked away and pivoted to Solana, did the worst TG of all time, and have basically exited with $10+ million of investor funds, and nobody's fucking heard from them since. I haven't heard anything from them. Nothing. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. But okay, here's the interesting post. I'm gonna skip around on this. It's from Capital Flows, and it's like an interesting follow-up on the hype thing before we talk about Pump Fun. I heard the picture Zach XBT docs was actually one of their investors. Did anyone else hear that? We're just gonna like avoid doxing stuff on a stream. Like yeah, we're gonna just like avoid it because like why? I don't really want to be involved with the doxing stuff. Fake? Is it real? I don't really know. All right, I'm gonna skip through this. I read this morning. It's a pretty interesting post. And so Capital Flows, Global Flows, who's a friend of the stream, he's come out a bunch of times, made this post, and it's pretty long post. I'm not gonna read most of it. It's basically a hype bull post though. And so he says, "I sold everyone a lie and became the new establishment. So for years, crypto market promised to transform a broken financial system, only to recreate a new establishment dominated by influencers who extracted billions while selling financial freedom to everyone else." This take I sort of hate. I hate to like blame it on the influencers thing, but whatever. Not important to the thesis. That promise is now unraveling. Disillusionment is growing because crypto was marketed as a way to lift people locked out of home ownership and rising living costs into a system where they would finally be valued on an equal footing. Instead, it reproduced the same generational and capital divides under a different banner. As the cycle of broken promises unfolded, the ecosystem drifted away from solving real problems and toward constantly reshaping its narrative to attract fresh capital. Each shift was less about utility and more about sustaining price. And so he kind of goes by Bitcoin was sort of the cypherpunk movement, and now it's being sold in 401ks and ETFs. And the Maxi movement was just a bunch of people that had really low cost bases in Bitcoin trying to sell it to other people. Now, the secret shift. As crypto's narrative continuously morphed to pull in new buyers under the banner of store of value, a quieter shift took place. Founders and speculators began to assume that higher prices could only come from pushing tokens into the traditional financial system so that regular people could buy them. Over time, this hardened into a single narrow belief that crypto could only succeed by being absorbed into TradFi. But what if that framing is backwards? What if the goal was never to bring crypto into TradFi, but what if the real value unlock lies in bringing TradFi into crypto, using crypto native infrastructure to solve the largest unsolved problem in global capital flows? Kind of a sick take. And I hadn't really heard it articulated like this. And it's basically like, yeah, what if the goal of crypto was never to transform crypto into TradFi, which is what we've been kind of focusing on definitely in 2025, definitely in the Trump admin term. But it was more to bring TradFi onto crypto rails. And so if you were to believe that to be true, the obvious winner take all trade is the all-in-one exchange that has the deepest liquidity and access to everything. And this fellow right here is like one of the most bulls on Hyperliquid and then Hyperliquid DAT per. So I'm gonna ask Claude to summarize this and I want to look at the per chart real quick. I kind of like the take. Summarize the key points of this article and thread. It's like an interesting take. I don't know. And then let's look at this. I believe it's per, ticker per is the hype DAT. Let's see. Hyperliquid strategy. Yeah, look at this thing. Look at this fucking thing. Look how this trades. Nuts. So this is the digital asset treasury company, and all they do is stack Hyperliquid. And it's maybe one of the only ones that makes sense. I think the Zcash DAT makes sense with the Winklevoss twins, and I think the Hyperliquid DAT makes sense as well. And the reason being, I think the only reason you would ever actually have buy side demand on a DAT is when there's no ETF for the underlying asset. Fair enough take, right? Like if you could just buy the ETF, you're just going to buy the ETF every single time. The only exception you could ever even attempt to make would be with MicroStrategy, because you have some elaborate cope as to why Sailor's the GOAT and or a better capital allocator into Bitcoin than you could be. I still don't really understand why you would ever buy MicroStrategy over Bitcoin. I think Sailor's the GOAT, but I don't understand why you would buy MSTR over Bitcoin under any case. I definitely don't understand why you would buy like ETHZilla over just buying Ethereum or something like one of these like tier 4 ETH DATs. Just like makes absolutely no sense to me. I want to find, yeah, here it is. Look, because this is why you would never ever buy a DAT under just buying the underlying asset, because the DAT can do this. Ethereum Treasury Company ETHZilla has purchased 2 CFM56 7B24 jet engines for $12.2 million through a newly formed aerospace subsidiary after selling at least $115 million worth of ETH. The engines are leased to a major airline. ETHZilla shares have fallen about 97% from their August peak. The company is partnering with regulated broker-dealer Liquidity.io to tokenize real-world assets, including aircraft engines, auto loans, and home loans, with the first tokenized offerings expected in Q1 2026. Basically, an Ethereum treasury company bought 9 figures worth of ETH, and it was so fucking painful to hold over 3 months that they sold it all. The stock got down 97%, and they pivoted to buying jet engines. It's like, bro, imagine you were bullish on ETH. You expressed your bullishness via the ETHZilla treasury company, and they pivoted into jet engines, and it's down 97%. Basically worst case scenario, which is why you would never, ever, and should never, ever buy or recommend somebody buy a DAT, unless the off chance it's for an asset that you can't particularly regularly access. Being hyperliquid per is like a decent example of that. So let me read what Claude said. Bro, they pivoted to buying jet engines. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I mean, jet engines. By the way, what even is that? A jet engine holding company? What the fuck are you talking about? It's like the stupidest. That's what holding ETH does to you, bro. That's what holding ETH does to you. You rage quit, sell the bottom, and you buy jet engines. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? I didn't know that was a thing. Is that a thing? Jet engines? Like aircraft engines? What the fuck are you talking about? Just say you're a burger? What does that mean? Like I'm American? You know, American is actually Italian as fuck. What do you just say I'm a burger? What does that mean? All right, here's a take. Core argument. Crypto sold a revolution that became a new establishment. The original promise of disrupting TradFis devolved into begging TradFi for legitimacy, ETFs, 401ks, institutional adoptions. Bitcoin maximalists who once condemned the system now needed to pump their bags. The thesis flip. The author argues everyone has it backwards. The goal shouldn't be getting crypto into TradFi. It should be bringing TradFi onto crypto native infrastructure. Why? Global finance runs on interest rates and FX hedging. Leverage isn't speculation. It's the core mechanism that makes global capital flows work. Crypto's real opportunity was never digital gold narratives. It was building leverage native infrastructure without legacy constraints. Platforms like Hyperliquid can become venues where real world rate FX hedging happens more efficiently than traditional rails. So basically his take is that all of TradFi is coming on to crypto rails. That's our North Star, and the exchanges that win are just going to win like really hard. And so basically as bad as Hyperliquid. Interesting thesis. And it relates to this Vlad Robinhood article that we'll read in a minute. But before we do, the second coin that, you know, I'm a little bit obsessed with, we talk about it every day, is Pump Fund. And the reason we're going to talk about Pump Fun is that yesterday, January 27th, Pump Fun. Wait, what did they just post? Better be good, Jack. Better be good, Jack. Pump Fun's biggest advisors are joining the Pump Fun BIP Hackathon. Now is your chance to access the most successful and biggest thinkers in crypto and beyond, as well as the chance to receive a part of the $3 million investment from Pump Fun. Meet the advisors. Alon, Anil, the GOAT, Mason Nystrom from Pantera, Hugo Martingale from Polymarket, Tim Draper, Mert. I didn't get invited to this. Also, how did Hugo sneak in the bundle? What the fuck? How is Hugo Martingale on this list? What? Who's Tim Draper? Net worth $2.9 billion. Jesus. I don't even know who this is. Should I know who that is? Yeah, eyebrows are crazy, but I feel like I'm trying not to comment on it. I feel like that he probably gets it a lot, right? Who is Tim Draper? He's the OG Bitcoin bull. I feel like he probably gets the eyebrow shit like a lot, so I'm not really trying to like harp on that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's kind of a dick move. He's a prominent Silicon Valley VC, founder of Draper. Crypto circles is known for buying 30,000 Bitcoin from the U.S. Marshall's Silk Road auction in 2014, around $600 a coin at the time. What? What? In crypto circles, Tim Draper is known for buying 30,000 Bitcoin from the U.S. Marshall's Silk Road auction in 2014 for $600 a coin. What? Assuming he held all of the Bitcoin, how much is he up right now? Bro, what the fuck? Dude, unrealized gain is $2.6 billion. Holy actual fuck. Wow. From the Silk Road auction, which we're actually going to talk about in a couple segments relatively soon. That is insane. Wow. Okay, anyways, Pump Fun. Yesterday announced or revealed January 27th, they bought back $2.3 million worth of the Pump token the other day. $2.3 million of Pump was bought back yesterday. Okay. And taglining that with somehow, some way, the Penguin is still hanging out near 100 million market cap, which is disgusting to me. I don't know how it's so high. They bought back $2.3 million of the Pump token the other day, which we're going to do the scroll. We are going to do the scroll. Is the most they have bought since. Nope. Does Pump pay you as an out? Pump has never paid me. Nope. Damn, it got kind of ugly around here. Jesus. Nope. Yes. September 17th. They bought back the most Pump, made the most revenue in a single day since September 17th. On the chart, on September 17th, on 4 hours. The last time they bought back this much, Bitcoin was right here at 115K. Solana, oh my God, that's a Pico top of Solana. Solana was $250 per token. And Pump Fun on September 17th was at basically all-time high. It was right here. It was up something like 150% from where it is right now. The last time Pump Fun bought back this much of their token. And so you don't have to necessarily agree that there's a vibe shift happening on chain. We've kind of been saying it for a little bit, but we haven't, like, I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. I feel like vibe shift, but I haven't really been trading it. I've kind of been fading the AI stuff up into this point. We're going to do an AI segment in a minute. You don't have to agree or be trading that there's a vibe shift happening on chain, but the numbers, the stats, the data says that there is. The data says that Pump Fund just bought back the most of its token that it has since it was basically at all-time high. Okay? And so yesterday, I told you guys that I took a pump position. And here's the update on the position. Also, Jackson Ray, if you're here, I'm going to tell you what I meant by a strong close above that level and why I meant that. So, okay, I entered this. Okay, this was my line. Look, I'm not going to repeat the same thing I feel like I say every 5 minutes about companies that are slamming buybacks and then the ideology tokens. But I really am just interested in Zcash, Bitcoin, Pump, and Hype right now. I feel like our attention is just like constrained to those. And so this yellow line was basically where I'm like, if we volume fucking piss rip through this, I'm a bidder of Pump. I'm a bidder of Pump if we get through this. And I took the trade a little bit early. And I entered like basically where we're at right now. I got a little bit cute. I got a little bit excited. I entered a little bit earlier than where I wanted to, and now I'm sort of like stuck in no man's land. It basically wicked. It was late last night. I was watching the chart. It was late last night, and it wicked above my entry where I wanted to enter a couple times, but I did it both times on like low volume. Like it was like low compared to these candles right here. I did it on like low volume. 15-minute was even worse. Look at this. It was there for like a second. It wicked it once, and then I'm like, okay, it's not ready. And then it wicked it again, just like barely. I'm like, okay, it's not ready. And then I wicked it again, and I'm like, okay, it's still not ready. And then I basically didn't enter the position. And so I'm sort of sitting in no man's land a little bit on Pump. But this is the trade I feel like I'm the most interested in taking right now. How much leverage? I don't know. It's probably like a 3-4x. I'm not gonna go crazy with the leverage. I've like chilled out with the leverage. Before I was doing super low, and then I started hitting and getting hot and hitting good trades, and I'm like, fuck, I should be on more. And so I started upping it. And then I have like chilled out a little bit on the leverage. But yeah, this above here and Hype above here are what I'm the most interested in. And until further notice, we're kind of just going to keep getting cucked by Bitcoin, I think. We're going to keep getting cucked by Bitcoin until further notice. And while we look decent here, this is just continues to be one of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen. Wait, before we do metals real quick, does anyone here hold Pump on leverage and or spot? Does anyone here hold Pump? Yes, no on pump. I would imagine less people hold pump than hype, right? Probably less people hold pump than hype. Pump spot since TGE, dog. Really? Ugh. Why? You have 1 million pump? Jesus. Spot pump. I'll hold hype when they airdrop. I'll still my pump spot since the beginning. Jesus. Why? Ugh. That's been a fucking eventful ass hold, huh? That's been an eventful asshole. But I don't know, man. These are the coins you want to see turn around if things start to turn around here. Those are the two, really. If we really want to see things turn around here, it's this, and it's really Hyperliquid sort of leading the charge. And I will just say it's kind of interesting to see hype so giga outperform and Bitcoin kind of be stuck, because one of the criticisms I've seen a lot of people talking about crypto recently is everything just trades like leverage Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin gets fucked, everything gets fucked. And I'm not saying that's like changed, but it was good to see. Like, it was encouraging to see that the other day. And it was encouraging to see this as well. Is that how you spell it? One of the most respected, like, macro traders ripped to Hyperliquid. Let's see, 8:20 p.m. on January 26th. Let's see. 8:20 p.m. January 26th. Centrini's the man. We actually just subscribed to his Substack. It's fucking fire. Let's see. 8:26 p.m. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, crazy. Look, he ripped this candle. He tweeted at this candle. I'm not saying he's like responsible for any amount of pump. I'm not really sure how you can know. But I mean, it's pretty good timing on the tweet, huh? It's pretty fucking good timing on the tweet here. So that's Hyperliquid. That's Pump Fun. That is generally where we are with the state of crypto. And we have to just cover this really quick, which is gold, as we sit here and speak, is just fucking candling, man. It is just fucking candling right now. In this moment is candling. Look at this. This is just fucking candling. And this is also just fucking candling. And I kind of like our most recent Bitcoin cope is that we can't pump until metals pump. Let me delete this. Yeah. I mean, I'll read. This is my favorite cope. I'll read it to you. Let's see. What's his Twitter name? Wait, I gotta go through my DMs. I'll tell you it right now. Hold on. I'll read you my favorite cope if you want it. Let me see. Okay, first, I usually gatekeep shit like this, but I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, the best follow on Twitter right now, if you're super active and tapped in, the best follow on Twitter right now, this account right here, really good. Best follow on Twitter right now. You're welcome. You're welcome, bro. I don't do this often. I don't give away my like gems at 5K followers. Best follow on Twitter right now, if you're super tapped in, is this fellow right here. I think maybe we're gonna be able to get him on stream. And now I have to find DNAP. You have the post, the gold coat, the coat post. Let me see if I can find it. I want to read it to the chat before we move on. Fuck my life. He tweets so goddamn much. Let me find it. He nailed the hype move. He also nailed pump. Let me see if I can find it. Come on. Here it is. No. It uses this picture, though. Let me see. Please. It's a really good post. Stop. I'm gonna be so sad if I can't find it. Wait, I know where it is. Let me see. Yes. Tulip King. Yes. All right. This is our cope. This is our cope for my favorite account on Twitter. And we're going to continue to do this until we're invalidated, okay? Cope for my favorite account on Twitter. Okay. BTC gold silver. Unpin that, actually. Luke, unpin that if you can. It was a typo. Not sure why so many are quick to fade the metals crypto anti-correlation framework. Okay? Banger intro sentence. It's pretty short. Despite all the commotion about Sailor, ETF flows, and long-term holders, crypto, parentheses BTC, has essentially evolved into a synthetic short on metals over the past 2 years. It literally trades like a decaying iron condor option trade on PMs. As long as the spice is flowing in metals, crypto is entirely dictated by whales exiting, Sailor top lasting, and counter trading CT personalities. Time and time again, gold has led, crypto bleeds, and then gold puts in a swing high and crypto performs until gold is ready to leg higher. This time around, gold put in its most violent leg of the secular bull, timing in line with the 4-year cycle top. It's no surprise how decimated crypto is given that backdrop. Now, it is potentially day one of that flow ending. It's truly Pascal's wager here. You punt the idea or you don't. If crypto doesn't follow through on metals topping here, metals didn't top. If the top does in fact hold, then you simply off-ramp, stable up, and return in 5 months. Otherwise, you have yourself a swing low. Fading a framework that has essentially nailed every high time frame bottom and top over the past several years, 6 hours in, is strange. Despite what the macro says, it's up to the market to disprove this theory, and not the other way around. Innocent until proven guilty. Let's watch. It's a pretty good post. And basically what he's saying is that for as long as BTC has existed, it's basically stopped. Well, gold pumps, gold makes a swing high, gold stops going up, Bitcoin legs up, stops, gold, Bitcoin, gold, Bitcoin, gold, Bitcoin, gold, Bitcoin. And it hasn't been invalidated for 6 years. And he's basically saying, why innocent until proven guilty? You take a swing here until the market tells you that you shouldn't be taking a swing here. And that, my friends, is some pretty elaborate, high level, high quality cope. And it's the one that we're going to choose to believe right now. Now, we're sort of stuck in this no man's land right now until, or basically at the mercy of this. I do believe this to be true, that there's really not that much Bitcoin is going to be able to do as far as getting the thunder back and having the shine until this stops. I mean, this is disgusting. I mean, bro, this is like a $40 trillion asset moving like this. 40 T. Bitcoin's like 2. Think about that. It's like 20 times and some change bigger than Bitcoin moving like this. Candling like this. Look at the daily, bro. This is, I mean, this is if you really believe if you really believe in cryptocurrency and you really believe in our shit mattering and being important, and you look at this chart of an asset of this size, let's see. Oh, let's get the exact. An asset that is worth $38 trillion, and you see it moving like this on the daily. I'm not a betting man, or I would actually love to tell you I'm not a betting man. I am a fucking betting man, and I bet on everything. Okay, and you can only know if you're right if you bet, and I have bet ridiculously large sums of money on the rotation happening. I mean, this is gross. Look at the daily, bro. This is a $38 trillion asset, bro. 38. Bitcoin's worth 1.7 trill. This is worth $38 trillion. Moving like this. Look at the weekly chart, brother. Delete this. $38 trillion, bro. 38, my brother. And so it's disgusting. Powell spoke about it today. That's what he had to say. Powell, don't take much message from the rise in gold prices. An argument could be made that we're losing credibility, but that's not the case. Powell, don't take much macro message from the precious metals, though we do monitor them. What it feels like to me is that crypto and CT has been completely right about the debasement trade the whole way. We've positioned in Bitcoin instead of positioning in gold. And then at some point here, we are going to basically hit the threshold. And we're going to find out if we were right or if we were wrong. When that sometime is, I don't really know. Is this cope valid? I also don't really know, but I'm down to subscribe to, it's going to be hard for BTC to really move until this thing stops. Like if you're on your wits end with Bitcoin, if you really are there and you're basically about to capitulate and lose your fucking mind, you got to at least let this fucking do one of these and hang out for a while. You got to at least let that happen, right? Like you have to let that happen. So then would you buy gold? You know, I'm gaining increasingly large amounts of confidence in my ability to trade. Okay. I'm gaining large, one could say quantum substance in my ability to trade. But I'm also recognizing that we are in uncharted territory right now. For people that have been trading for 50 years, 20 years, let alone 5 years, me. And I've been sidelined from this entire move. And so I'm all in spot BTC, and I feel so ridiculous if I were to take like if I were to take a stab at this chart with any amount of size that would mean anything to me, it would just like feel so ridiculous. Also, let's just do this just to make everybody feel bad. Look at this. October 22nd. Should I do it? Look at this. Right here. Crazy. $38 trillion asset moved 33%. The charts aren't supposed to move like that. That's just like not supposed to be possible. At least I always thought Bitcoin was too big to be able to move like that fast. So that is the one thing about crypto. And we're going to move on to the on-chain stuff because under the hood, there's fucking fun stuff happening in crypto right now. The one cope about crypto is that there's months upon months upon months where nothing happens and then bam, all of it all at once, right here, right fucking now, in your face, in front of you. When did you have Schiff on? October 22nd, it says. What a fucking throwback, huh? Honestly, I have a lot of respect for Peter Schiff. Not just because he was right about gold. I have a lot of respect for Peter Schiff. He's a fucking smart guy. And I mean, dude, if you think you're losing your mind in crypto, this guy Peter Schiff's been shilling gold for like 30 years. Dude, when I was doing research for the Peter Schiff interview, there was a clip of him on CNBC in 2007, bro. I was 5 years old. And Peter Schiff is on CNBC 2007 saying that the stock market is about to collapse. There is a bubble and the only escape is gold to 5K. Okay? In 2007, bro, gold was $700. He said the market's about to collapse and gold is going to go to 5K. And they are literally laughing in this guy's fucking face. Like hitting the Cam Ward celly in his face or laughing at him. The market's fine. He was right about the bubble. But it took 19 years for gold to hit 5K. For his price target to play out, it took 19 years, brother. Imagine I came on here and I was so convicted in Bitcoin and I'm like, Bitcoin to 1 mil. And Bitcoin went to 1 mil and it took 19 years of me streaming every single day. Bro, I'm 24. Imagine that. Bro, that's 19 years. That is having a whole child going through his entire life, him graduating and going to college, and your price target still hasn't hit. Imagine he's telling his son every single day, gold to 5K, and until he's 19, bro. It happens. This guy, Peter Schiff, on his YouTube has been going live basically every single day talking about gold to 5K for it took 19 years, bro. Look at this. It's endless. Look at how many videos he has in his fucking YouTube. 19 years, bro. He's been talking about it every single day. Look at this. Every single day. Also, yeah, his son is a Bitcoin bull, by the way. Look at this. This is only 4 years old. He's been doing this every day for 19 years, saying gold to 5K. Look at this. We're only 6 years out. Look at this. Russia chooses gold over dollar 6 years ago. Look at this. This is threadguy's path. Please. Okay. Question. What do you think Peter Schiff's net worth is? How much do you think he's up right now on gold? How much do you think he's up right now on gold? Look at this. It just doesn't stop. How much do you think he's up on gold? Genuinely. Mills? Yeah, of course. Threadguy in 19 years. 8 figures for... Bro, it's got to be more. Dude, if I spent 19 years talking about Bitcoin to a mil and it finally happened and I'm not up 8 figures, what are we talking about? Brother, 19 years... I fucking hope he's up 8 figures. He should be at mid-9, in my opinion. He's at mid-9, in my opinion. He has to be. Bro, he has to. Look at this. This is 9 years ago. And he's always been a hater. Look at this. Episode 220. Government can't do anything right. Peter Schiff. Episode 219, right before that. Will Trump follow Obama in his failure to deliver? Crazy. He's just been a hater his whole life, bro. He's been hating for 19 years. And then it finally plays out. GG, respect. Now, from that framing, I want to reemphasize, this guy took 19 years for his price target to play out. And so if Bitcoin takes a couple extra months, we're in unprecedented territory, man. We're in a new era. Things move faster. Things are reflexive. Things snap back and snap forward and fucking move way quicker than they ever have. It's not going to take 19 years. Bitcoin is the greatest asset in the world, and it's not going to take 19 years. Because I'm going to be honest, chat, I don't have 19 years to do this. I hope to have a long and prosperous career as a content creator, but I can't do 19 years. I can't. As much as I love you guys, I can't do 19 years. I can't. So, anyways, this is our latest cope. This is what we're accepting, and we're going to continue following. I'd like to throw these little narratives out there, and we can follow up on them. Now, I want to talk about on-chain, and then I realize I've been yapping for 2 hours. I'm supposed to, I have 9 topics I'm supposed to cover. I've covered none of them. I have 2 topics I need to cover, so let me lock in. We're going to cover on-chain. We're going to cover AI. We're going to cover Claudebot. And then I want to talk about the Vlad Robinhood article that basically says crypto is the fucking future and tokenize everything. And then I'm going to tell you the beautiful, actually, it's not beautiful at all, but I'm going to tell you the electric story of the kid who stole $40 million in crypto. It's a pretty fucking good story. Let me jump for 1 second. Let me fill my water up. I'll be back. And then when I'm back, let's talk about on-chain. It's time to talk about on-chain. I've been fucking bullshitting. Let me talk about the market. It's time to talk about the market. BRB. I'll give you a little EDM for the vibes. BRB. Also, to think about if we did have to wait. Wait, no way WorldCoin's pumping on that. Is WorldCoin pumping on that? Daniel? Whoa! It fucking is. Look at this. Look at this. WorldCoin is fucking ripping. Look at this. Where's the announcement? Wait, look. Wow, is that a long? Hyperliquid doesn't have it. Stop. Does Hyperliquid not have it? No. How's Hyperliquid not have it? Look at this. It's an hour old. How did I not see this? What's the ticker? Wait, what's the ticker? Oh, WLD. I'm tweaking. Right, let's see what we got here. Dude, it's the most like distressed chart of all time. Oh my god, its chart's so down bad. It's crazy, actually. Wow. Look at this fucking chart. Look how down bad this chart is. I mean, bruh. Look at this chart. Is insane. Okay, word. Let's look at it. Kind of a big announcement. Zoomer. OpenAI is building a social network and is looking to use Sam Altman's WorldCoin orbs for human verification. Kind of a crazy announcement. You know, this never really made a lot of sense to me. Why they like wouldn't talk about WorldCoin, and Sam Altman was just like uninterested in it, seemingly. It never made a ton of sense to me. But it's cool technology. Like in the age of AI, you would assume that this human verification tech is like relatively important. It's very cool technology. I was always kind of interested in it, but it's kind of been one of the worst tokens like ever. $1.6 billion market cap for OpenAI coin feels, I don't know, relatively low. I'm curious, like, let's see if there's anyone talking about it. WorldCoin. That's crazy. It's like as dystopian as it gets, yeah. I mean, it didn't really pump that hard, to be fair. Maybe fade the news. I don't know. Right? People don't think the news is real. How much it pump? It's like it's worth 1.6. It's worth less than Pepe coin. Pump 40%. Like that doesn't feel that high at all. Yeah, it's worth 1.6 bill. I mean, it didn't even pump. It didn't even pump. I mean, it didn't even fucking pump, really. Let's see the article. Oh. OpenAI wants to create a biometric social network to kill X's bot problem. That's interesting. Oh, hype on Coinbase too? Damn, we're just getting like big announcement after big announcement. Wow. 3 years too late. Literally 3 years too late. I wonder if this tweet had anything to do with that, huh? Hyperliquid has quietly achieved the most important milestone of becoming the most liquid venue for crypto price discovery in the world. See below for side-by-side comparison of Bitcoin perps on Binance and Hyperliquid right. Is that why it pumps so hard? I don't think that's why it pumps so hard, by the way. I really don't think that's why it pumps so hard. Is it pumping on the actual tweet here? Let's see. Like a coin, it's too big for a Coinbase listing to really affect it, right? I don't know. It's just, honestly, it's baffling to me that it took this long. I mean, Hyperliquid is like multiple years old. It's honestly a pseudo insult that it took this long for them to list Hyperliquid, and you could almost argue it's too late, right? It's like you don't list Hyperliquid because you are afraid of the competition, and then it's so giga outperforms that by the time you list it, it's by force, not by choice. That's not a place you want to be. You don't. It's like being a forced seller. You don't want to be there. They don't want to do it now. You think they want to do it now? They wish they just did it earlier and said, fuck it. Us withholding the listing had no impact anyways on their success. We should have just already done it. Obviously, the answer, right? It's like, there's a giga token before Pump Fun. Then you're forced to do it. A friend of mine was listening to Tesla earnings call. They were swapping Model X and S production line with Optimus robots. That's crazy. I don't know that much about the robots, bro. To be completely honest with you. I want to read this article though. It's an OpenAI article. Why did this not pump more? I don't get it. I feel like this should fucking be ripping WorldCoin. Am I off? I feel like this should be fucking ripping. People don't believe it, maybe? I don't know. I took a little nibble on it, because why not? I feel like this should be ripping. It's not. Let's see, where's the actual article? Let's see if I could find it. Here it is. Forbes and the Big 2-6. Fuck my life. Fuck my actual life. All right, let's see. OpenAI's development. Oh, let's go. I can go more. OpenAI's development of its own social network appears to be crystallizing around a singular mission: obliterate the bot problem that has made an endless and toxic sump of the platform formerly known as Twitter. Hot take. It's not that bad right now. Just saying. It's not that bad right now. It really isn't that bad right now. Sources familiar with the project told Forbes that the social network, which is in the very early stages of development, has envisioned as a real humans-only platform. A potential selling point for the AI giant, which is looking to capitalize on its viral ChatGPT and Sora apps. But should it launch, it would be wading into a market of powerful incumbents like X, Instagram, and TikTok. The app is being developed by a very small team, fewer than 10 people, and may include a biometric identity recognition element. Sources familiar with its development told the Forbes team that it has considered requiring users. So it has considered requiring users to provide proof of personhood via Apple's Face ID or the World Orb coin. True biometric verification would ensure that all accounts in OpenAI's social network have a real person behind them. Look at this thing. You want to fucking put your eye in this? Huh? You want to put your eye in this? Just how the social network would complement OpenAI's existing product portfolio couldn't be learned. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. But this to me does not say they have a product that is about to go live that uses WorldCoin for authentication. This says they're maybe working on a product through a leak that has considered potentially in some scenario using WorldCoin as the authentication biomaker. Yeah, it's just like a weird token. Like, I don't know. This is just like a weird token. I mean, people are still buying it, like reacting late, I guess, to news. So one thing about crypto is like takes people a while to catch up to news, I think. But look how battered this thing is. It's like OpenAI token. It's worth $1.6 billion. It's disgustingly low. It's like disgustingly cheap. 24-hour volume, 33 million. Not bad. I don't really feel like the bot problem is that bad, by the way, right now on Twitter. I don't feel like it's that bad, all things considered. I don't feel like it's that bad. I feel like it's gotten better. Thoughts? Has it gotten better? Yes or no? Chat, you think it's gotten better? I feel like it's gotten better. Definitely gotten better, but that's a way to go. Wait, I want to read this tweet real quick. Imagine we got Sam Altman on to talk about WorldCoin. Be kind of a movie, right? Let's see. When you're saying there's a chance a crypto company network may have its devices used to launch a social network for a company that's 800 million users, that's a bet I'm willing to make. And when said crypto network and company are founded by the same person, that helps. The stick AFOI after the announcement suggests these longs will be on a mission. The shorts are playing a very dangerous game. I don't think you should short this, but whatever. Yeah, I don't think you should short this either. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you would short a coin instead of 99%. I will sell on the short squeeze that comes higher. 40 mil of shorts who are playing with fire. This is optimistic. I don't know. A crypto network may have its devices used to launch a social network for a company that has 800 million users. It is fucking massive. They have 800 million users. It's crazy. I guess we'll see, my friends, what happens with the OpenAI. Kind of a cool announcement, though. Whether they use it or not, it's like kind of a cool announcement. But okay, let's move on. Let us move on. Okay, let's move into actual AI topics, shall we? AI on chain, actual AI. Shall we? I read a post by Hasib that I think is really good about where we currently are in the world of AI. And I think it's worth reading before we go too much deeper, because things do feel a little bit overwhelming right now in the age of Claude Code, what's happening. Great post. I think everyone should internalize this, in my opinion. On one hand, AI influencers are breathlessly raving about Claude Code, Claudebot, and Cowork. And on the other hand, most people I know, even software engineers, are despondent, overwhelmed about how everything is changing so quickly. I hear this from people early in their careers, especially, a fear that everything they learned and the skills they've gained are rapidly being devalued. Chat, does anybody feel this way? A little bit overwhelming. We talked about it at the beginning of the stream. This is a mental trap. Don't fall for it. You should not just be watching from the sidelines or reading articles about, quote, how software engineering is changing. Imagine it was 1993. You think it's supposed to mid-curve? Why? Imagine it was 1993 and the personal computer revolution was kicking off. If you could go back in time to then, what should you have done? The answer, try everything. Buy a PC, learn how to touch type, figure out what the internet is, imbibe it all. Don't wait until it becomes a job requirement. How could you possibly call this mid-curve? Mid-curve ass reply. That's exactly what you should do with AI. Try everything. Try Claude Code, try Claudebot, try the Excel integrations. VO, everything you can get your hands on. Learn what it's doing. Build your intuitions. Be one step ahead of it. Evolve alongside it. Don't lose your curiosity or get swallowed by anxiety or let yourself be convinced that you'll learn it when you have to. Think deeply about how AI will change the things around you, not society. That's too hard to project. But how will it change your job, your personal life, your immediate environment? No matter how old you are or young you are, no matter what stage of your career you're in, we are all going through the biggest technological change of the last 100 years. And we're going through it together. Nobody has the answers. It's obvious that so much is going to change, but nobody's going to figure it out before you do if you choose to stay at the frontier. So don't hide from it. Sit at the front of the class, pay close attention, and be grateful that it's never been easier to stay at the frontier of the most important technology change of our lifetimes. I think it's a banger post. Also, just because I'm staring at this chart. No, they're ripping it. I opened a long just because I couldn't help myself. Hold on, we'll come back to AI in a second. I just couldn't help myself with it. They're kind of ripping it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They are kind of ripping it right now. I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of ripping it, bro. They're kind of ripping it. 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 Anyways, on the AI topic, I have not really been trading on chain the last. Honestly, I've been feeling a little bit behind on some of the on-chain AI stuff. Right when stream's over, I'm going to pick up my new Mac so we can lock back in on Claude Code. But slowly but surely, the on-chain thing as it relates to AI is picking up a little bit again, and it's picking up on Base, which is kind of interesting. For as much hate, as much heat, as much shit as Base has gotten, there's a little bit of activity that's happening on Base right now. I'm looking at these two charts. One is Claude, which we talked about the other day. Founder is from the Ethereum Foundation, which is kind of a movie. And yeah, some of the P&Ls on this are gross. I've seen a lot of accounts drop a lot of fucking money on this chart. Some of the P&Ls on this are actually disgusting. And then the second one that some of the smarter people that I know are talking about is Banker, which is This blue line is when we had him on stream. If you remember, it was the day after the Elon interview. We had Banker on stream. He came on, and it was a completely different product at the time. It was basically Believe app for deploying on Twitter. Like, I don't think there was any AI integrations whatsoever at this point. It was basically it was basically like Pump Fun on Twitter. You could deploy in the Twitter front end. You could tag someone at deploy token, do whatever you wanted to do. And it got a Coinbase listing very shortly after and went pretty fucking nuclear. It's now hot. It's now hot, and maybe this is something we can get OX Deployer to come back on and talk about. So he's made a couple tweets. I've seen a lot of the smarter, like a lot of my smarter chats are talking about this, are interested in this. Also, quick side note, they're ripping it, bro. Dave, do I sell this position? I have way too much leverage open to hold this. I probably have to just sell. They're ripping this right now. It's crazy. Jesus. 2 tweets I have from him. Relatively interesting. 1. The biggest problem with crypto agents. Slop. Solution. Auto-compounding banker skills repository. Here's how it will work. 1. Agent learns something new. E.g., how to not write cringe tweets, which seemingly is the hardest thing for it to learn. 2. Saves it to the banker skills repository. 3. Every agent now has access to that learning. One agent's lesson becomes every agent's upgrade. The goal: on-chain agents that get smarter at an accelerating pace, and soon self-funding too. This is pretty big. Self-funding is really cool. Banker is building the infrastructure and funding source for deep, well-funded AI experimentation. If you're a builder, it's time to start dreaming. If you want to start building or trading on-chain with Claude, you can start right now with our skills and plugins for Claude Code and Claude Bot. They're positioning themselves as sort of the go-to agent interaction on-chain, which is a really interesting proposition, to be completely honest. So here's the GitHub for the Claude Bot skills, and then Claude Code plugin plus skills right here. Power up with polymarket skills, technical analysis skills, token launchpad, advanced orders, cross-chain swaps, perps, and more. More on agent improvements soon. And so here's their list of available skills right now to make your agent smarter instantly. And I don't know, sort of this vision where it's like the go-to for agents to do things on chain, as well as how to fucking make them compound really fast and get really good is interesting. I don't hold any. I honestly only started paying attention to it in the last 24 hours when people much smarter than me were telling me pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And our very own Tulip King got excited about it today as well. Sent me this tweet. I don't think you're thinking big enough. Every person is now a dev and can build agents. Every agent can have a wallet, execute trades, and more using BankerBot. Most of the world hasn't realized this yet. So we'll pay attention to it. Something we'll watch. Maybe we'll get him back on stream at some point. I actually really like the guy, OX Deployer. I followed him for like Farcaster really early days. And then Launchpad Meta with Banker and Clanker. He was really early to it. And then now Agents Meta. He's really early to it as well. The one thing that I think is just like fun about the AI developments in crypto is, despite how brutally our super mini Gastown / Ralph / Claude meta like of 3 weeks ago ended, once again, some new innovation happened, some new tech, some new growth, some new advancement, and crypto's right there. It's like every single thing that happens with AI, crypto somehow finds a way to sneak itself into the bundle and be relevant. Every single time. Ralph was 6 days ago, gassed out 11 days ago. 6 days ago was fucking insane. It's just, that's insane. Wow, I said 3 weeks. Ralph was 6 days ago. It's just like, man, after a certain point, you just think to yourself, Frank tweet, crypto has found PMF as the money of the internet, and wherever the internet goes, crypto is just going to find itself. It's just not going to stop being relevant in internet innovations, particularly in AI. It's like, why would it stop? Everywhere it goes, everywhere AI goes, everywhere every internet innovation goes, crypto just finds itself. And so gentlemen, it's looking like on-chain is gonna be hot again. At the same time, on-chain is heating up. Some of the bigger caps like Pump and Hype are heating up, which makes me pretty fucking optimistic. While Bitcoin kind of just like shits the bed. Doesn't really do anything, and things are still happening under the hood in crypto. And maybe, just maybe, just maybe, you could envision a future where on-chain activity is not coupled to the Solana price, is not coupled to the Bitcoin price. We've simply just hit that time, hit that like reflexive point where the tech is good enough, where crypto itself is destigmatized enough, and it just goes hand in hand with crypto or with cultural advancements. Genuinely, we might have just gotten to that point. I don't know. Hey, big guy, there's a segment to run. I know I have 2 segments to do. I'm really putting them off. Should I just do them right now? I want to read the Vlad article because it's so good. It's so relevant to us. Roblox meta kind of happening too. Is it? What Roblox meta, bro? Everybody was DMing me about a Roblox meta. It's like, what Roblox meta? Roblox has been in the meta for like a decade, bro. I don't know. It's like Roblox meta on Solana or like Roblox. Roblox has been in the meta for a decade. So take that for what you want. Also, the biggest Roblox YouTuber in the world is coming on stream tomorrow. Creekcraft. Big deal. Gets a million views on a video, and he's talking about the crypto guys. It's kind of fun. It is kind of fun. All right, let's do what we need to do before I get off stream. We have a while actually before I get off stream. I have 2 segments I want to do. One of them, we'll start with this. We'll start with the more serious one, then we'll do the more fun one after, and we'll save Michael Berry because it's gonna take me forever. We'll save Michael Berry. Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood, posted an article today, and it is the 5-year post-mortem of GameStop. And we've actually been talking about GameStop a lot recently because 1, Michael Burry posted the article about why he traded it and made a lot of money but should have made way more. And then 2, I watched the Roy and Katie movie again, Dumb Money, the other day. And it was so fucking good. It was fire. And we've kind of just like been talking about GameStop a lot. I don't know. And this just came out, and it is very relevant to crypto. And so let's just read it. It's a fucking good post. There are a lot of people like hated Vlad for a long time about this, but I feel like Robinhood is back in the good graces of retail. They love him once again, and it's a really good post. So 5 years post GameStop by Robinhood Vlad. What happened and how we can ensure it never happens again. 5 years ago today, Robinhood and other brokers were forced to halt buying of several meme stocks, most memorably GameStop, and one of the strangest and most visible equity market failures in recent history. Also, this is really relevant to the global flows, aka capital flows, post about trad finance coming onto crypto rails. Hyperliquid. The underlying cause for the one-day pause was a set of complex clearinghouse risk management rules designed to mitigate the risk of the then 2-day-long settlement period for U.S. stock trades, which is completely foreign to crypto people, instant settlement. The rules required brokerages to put up huge amounts of cash to reduce the risk in the days between a meme stock trade and its settlement. What happens when you combine slow, outdated financial infrastructure with unprecedented trading volume and volatility in a small number of stocks, massive deposit requirements, trading restrictions, and millions of unhappy customers? Retail investors who wanted to buy GameStop were understandably livid. That is an understatement. In their eyes, Robinhood went from a hero to a villain. We intensely advocated for real-time settlement of U.S. stock trades, and this led to shortening the 2-day settlement T+2 down to T+1. So instead of 2-day settlement, it was down to 1-day settlement. He's taking credit for that. Arguably the most consequential accomplishment of the otherwise horrific Gensler era at the SEC. But in a world of 24-hour news cycles and real-time market reactions, T+1 is still far too long, particularly when you factor in that really means T+3 on Fridays or T+4 on long weekends. Our quest for real-time settlement continues, and it has proven elusive in the traditional equities market with a slew of legacy stakeholders to manage. It's clear that we need a new approach. That's where tokenization comes in. Tokenization refers to the process of converting an asset like a stock into a token that lives on a blockchain. Among other benefits like lower costs, native fractionalization, and 24/7 trading, moving equities on chain in a tokenized form allows them to benefit from the real-time settlement properties of blockchain technology. No lengthy settlement period means much less risk to the system and less pressure on both clearinghouses and brokerage, so customers can freely trade how they want, when they want. As advantages become increasingly clear, I believe it is inevitable that the US embraces this technology. We've seen progress here. Major US exchanges and clearinghouses have recently announced plans to tokenize equities. But without regulatory clarity, such efforts are moot. Fortunately, we now have a timely opportunity. Current leadership at the SEC is embracing innovation and facilitating experimentation with tokenization. Additionally, Congress is actively considering the Clarity Act, which I think has just been postponed, an important piece of crypto legislation, which requires the SEC to continue down its path of embracing this technology and to write modern rules for tokenized equities. Legislation would ensure that subsequent commissions cannot abandon or reverse the progress achieved by the SEC. By working with the SEC and pushing for sensible U.S. equity tokenization guidelines via Clarity, together we can ensure that trading restrictions like we saw in 2021 never have to happen again. Let's seize the moment and unlock real-time settlement for retail traders once and for all. Basically, every major financial institution everywhere, from BlackRock to Robinhood to Trump admin to everywhere in between, is pushing the same narrative that is, we need 24/7 tokenized assets everywhere on everything on chain for everyone to access and trade at any point, anytime, everywhere, anywhere, anywhere, everywhere, anywhere, everywhere. And the biggest question, I think, on this remains where and how. And the other day we watched a clip of Larry Fink at Davos, the World Economic Forum, go on and basically say that the solution to what we need is one unified blockchain, which, if it played out that way, is probably a non-event and or bearish for our bags, because I can't imagine the unified BlackRock blockchain is going to be Ethereum. Like, it's just not going to be. It's not going to be Solana. It's going to be walled garden BlackRock chain, and your assets are never going to leave BlackRock chain walled garden ecosystem, and it's probably not going to do much for our bags. However, in the outcome that this does happen with Robinhood, and it does happen with BlackRock, and it does happen with Fidelity and all these other major asset issuers, and this liquidity and these assets aren't walled behind BlackRock walled garden, and maybe they are on ETH, or maybe they are on some combination of Base and ETH and AVAX and Arbitrum and 10 other chains, whatever it is. Assuming that these assets are going to be accessible, liquidity is going to be accessible, it feels like after a Clarity Act approval, this is going to supercharge, and the liquidity on chain is just going to go nuclear. And so while that doesn't directly mean, oh my God, people are going to twat Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to break ATH, it definitely, undeniably does mean that there's going to be way more money accessible by one click to swap into on-chain, whether that be stables, whether that be crypto native assets, whether that be AI coins on Base, whether that be AI coins on Solana, whatever it is. Liquidity high means way more money to buy our coins, means way more reflexive, aggressive spiral moves up and down when it does actually happen. And I think the only way to look at this push that's being had, Robinhood's doing it, every brokerage is doing it, every exchange is doing it, all the asset managers are doing it. Like, the only way is to look at it, to cope, or at least think to yourself, look, more liquidity good, and to be optimistic about what it means. And so, I don't know. It's pretty cool to see Vlad from Robinhood basically say that the way to solve what happened with GameStop 5 years ago is crypto. I mean, it's kind of validating, if we're being honest. It's kind of validating to see that. Like, you kind of gotta like to see that. So he put it out. I thought it was a sick post, and you like to see it. At the same time, same day, funny enough, Michael Burry put out a long article about why he's balls deep in GameStop. I mean, I'm talking like long. Look at this shit. This is long. This is like an hour-long study session. This is long. Long ass article about why he's extremely deep in GameStop. Timing is funny. And I was gonna read it today, but I think we're gonna save it because it's not super time sensitive. Although I think GameStop actual stock looks pretty good. Let's see. Let's see. It looks decent. Ryan Cohen, the CEO, is slamming it. Like, it looks decent right now, actually. It looks decent. And I read the post. It's a really good post. Worth reading. So we'll read it at some point. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Friday for like a longer segment. It's a good post, though. Fun read. And I've become a huge Michael Burry fan after hating on him so much. I've become a huge fan. I think he's one of the smarter people. I mean, I guess obviously, right? He's one of the smarter people in finance. But I fuck with the Substack arc. This is one of the things I like about 2026 is the smart people are on the internet just posting. This is one of the better things that's happened over the last 2020s on, is the smartest people are just like on social media publicly putting out their theses on the world and on markets and on assets and on trades and why they do certain things. It's one of the cooler cultural things that's happened. He's looks maxing too. He looks younger than Brian Johnson. Really? Does he look young? Really? This is from the movie, isn't it? Yeah, he does look pretty young. No, I don't want AI mode, bro.
I have not paid that close attention.
He does not look younger than
All
Brian
I see is
Johnson.
every
What are
now.
you talking about? In absolutely no scenario does he look younger than Brian Johnson. How does he look younger than Brian Johnson? What are you talking about? How old is this? A month ago? Seen a Jack clip, how to pop in and tell you that shit tough. You my guy, Swan. How does he look younger than Brian Johnson?
So
What are you talking about?
buy them.
I mean, I fuck with the hair transition. He does not look younger than Brian Johnson at all. That's a bad take. How's my world coin look? Oof. He does look tired. Hey, he's long GameStop. I'd fucking look tired too, bro. I would look tired too, bro. Let's see. What's your entry? Why am I'm gonna close it in a minute. My entry's like right here. Let's see. He looks tired, bro. We're tired. I know we are. We are. But we're having fun and we're optimistic. And I'm gonna use this fun, optimistic time to tell you a fun story. Which you click quick scalp on 40x. Why are you buying 40x leverage? I don't even think it goes to 40x. Cap. That's cap. It only goes to 10. That's cap. It's big cap. A little McDonald's meal. Goes to 10x on Hyperliquid. All right. I have a fun story to sort of wrap things up for today. And that is the kid who stole 40 million in crypto. Before I tell it, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to fill up. I'll be back in 30 seconds. And I'm going to give you guys, Loki, a banger Miro presentation. It's really good. Greenfield. Damn, I really just fucking got cute on Pomp. I always do this, bro. I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to rush. I have to close. I did not need to do that. That's what happens when you get cute with the entry. For no particular reason. You get cute. You don't have to do. It's like it's like I draw a line. I say I'm going to enter on the line, and I enter before the line. Why would you do that exactly? Why would you do that, chat? Tell me why you would do that. I don't know. Why would I do that? I don't really know. Luke, I'm going to press record right now. Why would I do that? It's like I draw a line and I say I'm going to enter right here. Anything before that is just noise. And then you enter before that. And then you find out it's just noise. And you find out by losing money. Who wants to do that? You saw an Ansem tweet, that's why. Yeah. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna get bailed out by world coins. What's gonna happen? Alright. I press record. We're good. All right, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. I have a banger story for you, you gentlemen, you fine gentlemen, and that is the kid who stole $40 million in crypto. How this kid stole $40 million in crypto from his dad. From his dad. How this kid stole $40 million in crypto from his dad. All right, let's get it. How are we pronouncing this? This is the son, John Lick. John, aka Lick Daghita. And this is his father, Dean Dagda. I think it's Dagda. Dagda, is that how we're saying it? Someone correct me real quick so I don't fuck the recording up. Daghita? Daghita. Daghita. How are we pronouncing it? Daghita. 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 John Lick Daghita and his father, Dean Daghita. Daghita. I like it. John Lick. His name is John Lick. John Lick Daghita. And Dean Daghita. Crazy. Okay. This is him. This is his father. His father, Dean, is the CEO of CMDSS. Also, mind you, this is a breaking story that's happening right now. So there's new news happening frequently on this, but okay. So his father, Dean, is the CEO of CMDSS. CMDSS is the Command Services and Support Inc. It's a small business that provides consulting, program project management, and IT support services, primarily to the Department of Defense and the Department of Justice. Okay? Think of it as a project fix-it team for the government. So they do a little bit of everything, but as we're going to come to discover here very shortly, nobody really knows anything about this CMDSS. No one really knows anything about it. Their website is sus. What exactly they do is ambiguous. How exactly they got the money in the first place is also a little bit opaque, and it's kind of an insane story. So in October 2024, CMDSS was hired by the DOJ to fix a massive problem. Okay. Basically, the problem was the United States government has $25 billion of crypto, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to custody it. They don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to hold on to it. They don't know what to do. They have 25. Yes, you heard that number correctly. The United States government has $25 billion of crypto and basically no clue what to do with it. Yes, you heard that correctly. $25 billion of Bitcoin specifically. Bitcoin specifically. But how? Okay, so quick context is the United States has this thing called the U.S. Marshals Auction House. And the purpose of the auction house is when the U.S. government seizes belongings from criminals, and this is a very wide spectrum of belongings: cars, houses, cash, even crypto. If you remember, not that long ago, Tekashi 6ix9ine, when he got raided and arrested, and there was an auction on a US.gov website, and they were selling all of his chains, like the shark chain, the 6ix9ine chain. Do you remember that? People on CT were bidding on like 6ix9ine, like jewelry and like paraphernalia and whatnot. That was this. And so here's a chart that shows how much the US Marshals have sold year over year. And so in 2022, they sold $80 million of stolen assets alone. And so here's the thing. They don't just like seize criminal assets and then put them in a warehouse somewhere and forget about them. They're like actively trying to move and liquidate these assets. What they do with the money and exactly what their process is for selling this stuff is a little bit up in the air. I didn't really know about this, but basically the U.S. Marshals are responsible for selling assets claimed by the U.S. government. Okay? The government has billions of dollars in goods, but they're exotic. Like, think about this. These are stolen goods from like Fed rates. So it's not like, oh, here's like cash, or oh, here's a home. It's like, here's this diamond chain, here's this exotic car, here's this weird item, weird item, that thing you've never heard of. They have all this really weird stuff and no real streamlined process for how to sell this, right? And so as a result, the government only manages to sell off a small fraction of the assets they hold per year, but it's still in the hundreds of millions, right? So think about that. 2022, they sold $80.6 million worth of stolen assets, seized assets, and that's like a fraction of the supply that they have. And so here's some context. A history of the craziest assets sold by the U.S. Marshals. A Picasso came from a guy doing tax fraud. They sold a BGS 9.5 OG Charizard from someone from a guy that stole money from a COVID relief program. They sold a private plane, and they sold a horse named Cinda for $60,000. And so they basically do everything. Like, they're selling horses, they're selling planes, they're selling 6ix9ine chains. They basically do everything, right? Side note, working for the U.S. Marshal Asset Liquidation Team is probably one of the coolest jobs in the world. So they're doing everything. Someone said, does anyone know if they service the seized vehicles or they just let them sit until sold? I don't really know. Also, it doesn't really seem like they have a streamlined plan for this. It's like, what do they do with it? How do they do with it? It's a little bit fucking up in the air, maybe however they're feeling that day. And so to understand how we got here where a kid was able to steal $40 million. We have to first understand the US government is a crypto fucking whale, okay? And so, infamous story, the first time the US government got deep into Bitcoin was with the Silk Road, okay? Founder Ross, very notorious story, went to prison, founder of the Silk Road. It was one of the first huge use cases for Bitcoin. Basically, if you're not familiar with it, there's a ton of videos, but illicit dark web website where you could buy and sell anything using Bitcoin. And the US government, when they shut down the Silk Road, they seized 170,000 Bitcoin, worth 90, at current prices, worth 90,000 Bitcoin per. 170,000 Bitcoin. Okay. Second one here is Malone, was probably the biggest story of 2024, 2025 in crypto fraud. Stole about 230 million, primarily in Bitcoin. He infamously went around Miami and was like super public at the club, throwing these massive parties, buying girls Lamborghinis, he would show up to the club with Birkin bags. He's all over TikTok if you look him up. That was a really famous criminal crypto story, I think in 2025, beginning of 25, maybe the end of 2024. The US government stole 230 million from him that he had initially stolen. And then here's one that I hadn't heard about. In October 2024, the US government seizes $15 billion in Bitcoin from a Cambodian pig butchering fraud. From the Prince Group Transnational Criminal Organization, aka the TCO. So $15 billion in Bitcoin. And so as of July, the US government is 25 billion in Bitcoin alone. And as we're about to find out, they really have no fucking clue what to do with it. They don't want to sell it, as they've come out and said many times with the like strategic US reserve. They don't want to sell it. And so they have to basically figure out these weird niche ways to custody it and what to do with it. So here we go. So here's how CMDSS and CEO Dean even got their hands on the crypto in the first place. So in June 2022, 4 years ago, the DOJ reveals that the United States Marshals hold nearly $500 million in crypto, and they need help with custody and selling of crypto. So this is basically the first time the DOJ comes out and they're like, look, we have a fuck ton of Bitcoin. We don't know what to do with it. We need help. We need help from somebody to help us figure out what this. Also, mind you, this is pretty early. 2022, this is early. It's not super standard to have a Bitcoin, have a crypto plan. And they come out and they're like, we need help custodying this, holding on to this, making a plan, figuring out what to do with this. This is yeah, pre-Trump term 2, everything. So this is 2022. In June 2023, it's reported, or it's revealed that the Marshals had deals with BitGo and Anchorage Digital that both fell apart. And so these are two of the, BitGo just IPO'd, and then Anchorage is one of the biggest crypto custodians in the world. And so they had deals at some level with BitGo and Anchorage that fell through, presumably to help them custody their seized crypto. The deals fell through, and this is reported in 2023. And they're basically still looking for help with the seized crypto. The United States government, by the way, the US government is like, hey, we don't know what the fuck to do with this. And so in April 2024, a year later, the Marshals post an open contract to help provide custody and liquidation services of class 2 through 4 cryptocurrencies. And just 5 months later, CMDSS posts a blog announcing they're SOC 2 Type 2 certified. So a couple months after this contract is posted, the CMDSS comes out and basically says, hey, we have the certification that would allow us to be qualified to take this. We basically have like the security clearance and the qualification that would allow us to be available to take this contract and be in charge of this crypto. And so some more context here. 2024, shortly after that, Coinbase, who's also a massive custodian in crypto, is selected to custody class 1 cryptocurrencies for the Marshals, but then an article breaks from CoinDesk 2025 that basically reveals the government has no clue what they're doing. So They can't figure out what to do. Deal falls through with Anchorage and BitGo. They're like, we need fucking help. In the background, CMDSS gets the certification required to be able to help them. But they strike some sort of deal with Coinbase. But a year later, this like report gets leaked from CoinDesk that the government has no fucking clue what they're doing. So they're not doing a good job. Obviously, Coinbase isn't really doing a good job at this either. And we're in 2025 now, and the US government is still like, hey, with $25 billion, we don't know what the fuck to do with it. Okay? And so at some point between this happening, where CMDSS announces that they're certified, and March 14th, CMDSS struck a deal at some level with the US government to custody some of their crypto. This was never reported. Like, this was never public news that they got this contract. But the reason that we know this exists is because a lawsuit was filed against them by a competitor named Wave Digital that sued them by saying CMDSS doesn't have the proper licenses to basically be the recipient of this contract. And so at some point in this process, CMDSS, whose CEO is Dean, whose son stole $40 million from the US government, privately was given a contract from the US government to custody some unknown, but we now know it to be at least $100 million of their crypto. And the only reason we know about this is because of a public lawsuit from a competitor that came out and said, hey, CMDSS has this deal. They're custodying crypto for the US government, and they shouldn't be. Okay? So this lawsuit happens. And so basically this exactly. Somewhere between becoming SOC 2 Type 2 certified, September 2024, and getting sued by Wave Digital, their competitor, the CMDSS was selected to be a custodian of the Marshall's exotic cryptocurrency. Now, that's sus in and of itself, is they privately, under the table, struck this deal. The second thing that's sus is if you look at CMDSS on their website, it is the most corporate slop, flawed, vibe-coded looking website, school project looking website you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, you're telling me that this right here is the website of a high-level elite custodian that has a deal with the US government to custody 9 figures plus of exotic assets such as cryptocurrency? This is their website. We could vibe code this in 5 minutes right now, right here in front of you on this screen with Claude. In the time it would take me to finish this presentation, we could have a better website right now. This is it. Management strategies, enterprise solutions, technology services, engage, excel, exceed, powering progress through technology, command, services, and support, Inc. Okay. And so no one knows anything about them. There's no information anywhere on the website. They super sus get this certification under the table to be SOC 2 Type 2 certified. And then under the table, they get a deal with the US government that's never publicly reported. And we only find out about the deal because of a lawsuit by a competitor saying, hey, these guys are fucking sus. They shouldn't have this deal. That's the setup. Okay. Fast forward a little bit, and the son of the CEO of CMDSS, John Lick, goes by Lick, gets caught. And the full story is basically tied together by friend of the stream and our resident investigator, Zach XBT. And it's kind of a fucking movie. And so here it is. Meet the threat actor, John Lick, who was caught flexing $23 million in a wallet address directly tied to 90 million plus in suspected thefts from the US government in 2024 and multiple other unidentified victims from November 2025 to December 2025. And so earlier today, John, aka Lick, got into a heated argument with another threat actor known as Dritton Kaplani Jr. in a group chat to see who had more funds in a crypto wallet. Okay? In the this is known as banned for band. B4B. However, the entire interaction was fully recorded. And so what you're about to see in a second as we go through this, in case you get lost, is John Lick, the son of Dean, who's a CEO of CMDSS, which has a contract with the United States government to manage, as far as we know, $100 million plus of seized cryptocurrency, was caught flexing this money in a recorded video on Telegram because he was going, quote, band for band against another threat actor who's stealing money and doing illegal shit. That's how he got caught. Okay. Let's see. Let's skip it. Okay, cool. Yes. Interaction was fully recorded. In part 1 of the recording, Dritten mocks John. However, John screen shares Exodus wallet, which shows the Tron address below with $2.3 million. And so he first shows 2.3 million, full screen. I am full screen. I can just like zoom in a little. So he first shows this Tron address with $2.3 million. In part 2 of the recording, it's 7 minutes long. I don't think we're gonna watch it. Maybe we'll come back. It's long though. It's long. Here, we'll watch this for a second. Let's watch this for a second. Let me just see what's in here. I haven't seen this.
Wait, so what am I supposed to be doing? Hello? Is this supposed to be like an honest reaction to him only having 6 mil? Or what? Because this is like pretty embarrassing.
Scammer talking to scammer, by the way.
Like, let me just add someone else so we could both laugh at you together. What do you mean Drayton can't show anything back? Hello? I literally have 100 BTC in my Exodus right now. Hello? Bro, like,
Yo,
do you see
nigga.
this? No? Bro, look at BTC price. It's not even 100 coins. What? What is this kid doing? The Punisher? Wow, LOL. Sure you do. Yo, Punisher, we know who you are, by the way. Sean Sharma. You think he tough? Stink ass nigga, bro.
This is crazy. This is your trading.
Wait, no. I'm not gonna lie. This had John nigga.
So that boom, he shows this
I thought he was
Telegram
tough.
wallet
Yo, look at you, bro.
or Tron wallet. I mean,
Beat the fuck out of you, nigga. Yo, no.
this is John Lick, by the way, our culprit. John Lick.
Goofy nigga.
Nigga ugly as hell, bro.
Ugly nigga.
Yep. I bet.
Okay, so this is the first time in a recorded chat because he was getting mocked about being poor, basically. He flexes this Tron address that has $2.3 million in it for the first time. Going band for band in the band for band chat with other scammers, he flexes this wallet that's $2.3 million in it, okay? In part 2 of the recording, Dritten continues to mock John while another $6.7 million worth of ETH is moved into the wallet address below. So basically, John's getting mocked by this Dritten guy for being poor. He shows $2.3 million stolen. Or not stolen, but owned by the US government. Shows $2.3 million. It continues to go on. Maybe we'll watch the video after. And so he then moves $6.7 million of ETH into the same wallet to flex it again, also owned by the US government. And so he's now shown almost $10 million of US government funds in a crypto wallet and a recorded Telegram call with another scammer to show that he does in fact have bread. Okay? And so after the B4B, after the ban for ban was done, John had moved $23 million. The recording captures that John clearly controls both addresses. Additional addresses can likely be found in the recordings. I then began tracing backwards to verify the source of the funds. So by the time the ban for ban flexing was done, John Lick, our culprit, son of Dean, who's the CEO of the CMDSS, which is a contract with the United States government for $100 million plus that we know about to manage their crypto, has now shown $23 million in a recorded Telegram group chat, proving that he has access to these US government funds. So Zach begins tracing them. Okay. And so Wallet 1 receives funds from Wallet 2, which in the recording, John confirms he owns Wallet 2. Wallet 2 received 1,066 ETH from Wallet 3 in this transaction. It also received $25 million from a US government address in 2024 related to the Bitfinex hack seizure, which is a theft from the USG I previously reported about in 2024. Another one of the addresses is tied to 63 million in inflows from suspected victims in government seizure addresses in Q4 2025. So basically every single one of these addresses that he pulled from to get money and to show in the Telegram group is connected. Some, like, the addresses are a little confusing, but they're connected in somehow to a seizure of US government stealing or like seizing stolen funds, right? Another $12 million. Also worth noting that John Lick, our culprit, has an extensive message history on Telegram flaunting his net worth and calling others broke. Rumors circulating from cybercrime Telegram channels indicate John could be John Dahida, who was previously arrested in September 2025. So he was also arrested in September 2025, which is crazy, our culprit. Threat actors only continue showing off stolen funds in leaked recordings rather than simply staying quiet after an alleged theft from the US government. In this case, John was rage baited by Dritten into going ban for ban, and the proof of ownership for these wallets makes it an easy future case for law enforcement. Okay? And so that's basically how he gets caught. Let me finish the thread. Actually, a couple more tweets. Okay, there's two more tweets. Update. John quickly removed all of the NFT usernames from his Telegram account and changed his screen name after my post. So he's actively watching ZachXBT's Twitter, as all the scammers usually are. And then we'll come here. Second post. Here it is. Wait. So in case you're curious how John Lick was able to steal 40 million plus from US government seizure addresses, John's dad owns CMDSS, which we now know, which currently has an active IT government contract in Virginia. CMDSS was awarded a contract to assist the USMS in managing and disposing of seized and forfeited crypto assets. It still remains unclear at this point how John obtained access from his dad. All we know is that he did. Update. The CMDSS, so Jan 25, update. The CMDSS company Twitter account, website, and LinkedIn were all just deactivated. So they go and they fucking wipe everything. It's all gone. Update. John Lick began trolling again on Telegram shortly after my post. And so he's just like on Telegram trolling, bro, to Zach. Update. John Lick sent me watch this. Update. John Lick sent me 0.6767 ETH of the stolen government funds to my public wallet address. He sent 0.6767 of US government funds to ZachXBT's public wallet after knowing he's being actively investigated by the US and ZachXBT. Dude, I think that alone is a crime. Like, that alone is probably a felon, like a serious crime. sending stolen funds. Like what? Of his dad's company, by the way. His dad's company, by the way. Update. So the last update after this, after sending 0.6767 ETH to Zach's public address, is Patrick Witt, the executive director for the U.S. President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets, and the USMS have both stated they are actively looking into the incident. That was the most recent update on our friend John Lick. Okay, and there's a third. Yeah, this is the third tweet. Yeah, trying to taint Zach XBT. And so, as the story concludes, what we know so far, the last update on John Lick is, oh my God, gold. We'll look at gold in a second. The last update on John Lick, I believe, was right here from Watcher Guru. Breaking. U.S. launches investigation into alleged $90 million crypto theft by son of contractor who helped secure government wallets. Credit to on-chain investigator Zach XBT, who exposed the alleged theft, prompting an official U.S. government investigation. So this fucking kid and his dad are now being fully probed, by the U.S. government into exactly what happened here and how it happened. And so if you want a quick summary of what happened to conclude, 1, kid gets baited into flexing his wallets on Telegram. 2, gets recorded, recordings leaked. 3, turns out those wallets are linked to $40 million stolen from the U.S. government. 4, and his dad's company has a contract with the U.S. government to handle liquidation of stolen crypto assets. Absolute insanity, LOL. Just wait until mainstream news outlets get their hands on this. Might end up being the crypto story of the year, and we're only in January. And that, my friends, is what we know so far about this fellow right here, John, aka Lick, the $40 million crypto bandit whose father is in control of, as far as we know, $100 million of stolen crypto assets owned by the United States government. Fucking crazy, bro. Actually fucking crazy. It's now become like the biggest story in crypto news. I mean, bro, they're on his ass. Everyone's under investigation. The whole thing's under investigation. So we'll see what happens, but it's one of the biggest stories in crypto right now. Sucks that it's a brutal one, but I also saw this. I don't know if this is true. Launched Lick on Pump Fund is live streaming on Telegram. I don't think this is true, but L Dad, L Parenting, and that is the story of John Lick. And if you are wondering what happened with the $40 million crypto scam, I'll update you with more when it comes. Now, as that was happening, by the way, W segment, yeah? Shout out the fucking full team on that. They fucking cooked. Shout out the team on that. Absolutely cooked. W segment right there. This is, oh my God. It's just going, bro. Oh, I mean, we're just at the mercy of this thing until it stops. Oh. We're at the mercy of it. We really are. I sold World, by the way, for like plus 20%. Yeah, we're at the mercy of this thing. Stop drawing lines, bro, please. I will. Yeah, this is a tough spot. I don't really know what you can do with this. It is looking parabolic below off the top, but it's also been looking parabolic below off the top. So I don't really know what we're going to do. What I can tell you is we're going to sit here and we're going to cover it every day. And I'm going to do my best to give you the best coverage possible. And we're just going to see what happens. I'm going to continue to believe the cope that once this thing tops, we fucking rip. And tomorrow, I'm going to bring you an interview with the biggest Roblox YouTuber in the world. And we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about gold, talking about Bitcoin, talking about Hyperlink, we're talking about pump, we're talking about the same shit we talk about every fucking day because we are the best industry in the world at the greatest time in humanity to be alive, to be on the internet, to be trading markets, to be understanding the advancements and the growth and the acceleration of everything that's happening around us. We're getting better every day. We're getting bigger every day. There's 145 on Twitch, 52 live on YouTube. It's a fucking movie. Okay, YouTube videos are about to start rolling out seriously again tomorrow, and we're going to get a little bit better, do a little bit more, and get a little bit more advanced every single day. I'm out. I'm Ruggedness. I love you guys. I appreciate you with all my heart. I'm getting my new computer right when this stream ends. I'm going to rip fucking some Claude code, and hopefully have some new Claude takes for y'all, because I feel like that's one area I'm lacking. I got to get better. I got to get a little bit sharper with the Claude. Got to get a little bit sharper, so I'm going to do just that. Look, it might take some time, but the higher gold goes, the higher the digital twin is going to go as well. I love you. I believe in you. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 3:30 p.m. EST. Until further notice, be good, be great. Tell someone you love them today, and let's fucking get better. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.